Tuesday and Kim's typing.
Yes, I am typing.
Are you done typing?
No, not yet.
What the fuck are you typing?
Oh.
You ever heard of space?
Yeah,
All right, let's shut the keyboard off.
She's got the scarf and everything going.
Okay, you're talking about backstage stuff, though.
I know.
You're talking about stuff you only can see.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Anyways, it is Tuesday, and we're here. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yes, we are.
And you're going to give me shout outs in the chat?
Oh, I got off of the chat. Oh, okay.
Exactly, Shanti. Elvis.
Yes. So we
Which, if you can kind of see, there's like a little, well, only one can be seen. Easter egg right there.
There. How's
there's
that?
The other one.
Yeah.
2 LPs. Third one's down here. And yeah.
Yes.
We're talking Elvis movie.
Yes, we are.
But before we do that, we need to Kim, you give a shout out.
Okay.
Hey, M&J Hens, how you doing?
All right. Hello to M&J Hens, you Baldo.
Yep.
Scarif After Dark, which is Shanti.
Shanti.
Tom just entered the chat.
Tom.
And
I did that right. That's funny because
I think that's it.
Nah, that's it so far.
All right.
Head back out. See you next week. All right, bro. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. So, how's your week been, Kim? I'm not talking about work. I mean everything else.
It's been good.
Okay.
Really good.
Just kidding. Everybody's work is.
Yeah, I know.
Ain't only person that's going around saying my job is friggin' awesome are actors and musicians.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean the big musicians, the ones that got recording contracts and make millions of dollars.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone else like, no.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways, let's get on the other side.
Yes, let's get on the other side and get the business done.
Business?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yes. Well, after we get the rest of the introduction done.
Right. Let's get to it.
Go for it.
Welcome to Use and Views. I'm Scott.
I'm Kim.
And I'm supposed to hit this button. This is episode 184. We're talking Elvis movie.
Yes.
From last year.
Yes.
And we're talking about this movie with Nicole.
From Rogue One Radio.
Exactly. Yes. But before we do, we got to have a lot of fun.
Yes.
So should we do show and tell? Oh, I guess we should wait for show and tell. Bring Nicole on.
Yes, we should.
Because, some of the show and tell is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, foremost, I want to say happy belated birthday since we were not alive. We did not do a live show yesterday.
Yes.
Happy belated 30th birthday to my daughter, Hannah, who is in the chat.
Yes.
She's now 30.
Yes, she is.
God. Why? Why?
Hey.
Still pain in the ass.
You would say that.
Of course I would say that. Why wouldn't I say that? Huh?
I don't know. Hannah says thanks.
You're welcome. Just remember, one day you will be there too.
I'm typing in the chat. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All right, let's go. And Rolando's showed up in the chat. Hey, Rolando. Hey, Hannah like Nevada.
It's Hannah.
Nevada.
It's Nevada.
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 As long as the Raiders there, it's gonna be Nevada.
It's Nevada. I
don't
don't
fucking-
care
hey,
if the Raiders
you know
are
what?
there.
You know what? Excuse me. I was born in that state, so I can say what it's gonna be called.
I was born in that state too.
You don't count. You were born in small little Elko or Battle Mountain, and I was born in Reno, so I beat you.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. I can still put my opinion in this.
Your opinion is like, yeah, your opinion don't count.
Yeah, apparently. But you know what? I don't care. I'm still going to give it.
You think so, huh?
Yes, I know so. Well,
what about that opinion now? There's the motor. Damn, this isn't even going to start. Even need a new starter.
man, you never know.
All right. All right. You want to get
Yes, let's get to the
the
business.
business?
Yes.
All right. Let's get to the business. There you go.
Thank you to
All
our
right, good. Oh, wait, you weren't done yet?
No. Thank you to our Patreons, Luna Girl and Dragon Buddy, Don Dillasnooch Solsky, Nicholas Schaefer, Steve Long, Hannah, Mikey, Brinley, and Case. Join our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/usedabusedpod. Search for Used Abused Pod today on all your favorite podcasting apps, including Apple, Google, Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you are new to the channel, click subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when we go live.
That's weird.
Yeah.
When I muted my mic, you went.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, very interesting. You can find Used and Abused Pod on Facebook, the Gram, and Twitter.
The gram.
Yes, the Gram. You can email us at usedandabusedpod@gmail.com. A&D for and. Our website is
Sure, that's how you spell it.
I'm positive. Our website is usedabusedpod.com. Leave us a voicemail at 928-719-0749.
I fixed you on that one.
Go to tpublic.com and search for Used Abused Pod, all lowercase, for our merch store. There are t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, face masks, onesies, coffee mugs, and etc. We are proud members of the Red 5 Network. Go to red5network.com to find more exciting podcasts. Red 5 Network podcasts. Go to bio.link/red5.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. They'll find all of them there, and there should be.
You're gonna find all the podcasts there. The active ones will now be on top, and the ones that are currently inactive will be in Carbonite.
Yes, I know. I was reading.
And they will be unfrozen when they come back.
Oh, got it.
So yeah, so nobody's being kicked out, but all the active pods are labeled on top of the BioLink now.
Okay.
And then right now the inactive ones, life gets in the way, and things happen. So
yeah,
but yeah, no problem.
All right.
So tomorrow night, you knew who's back tomorrow night?
Yeah, the ATSW, the Escape Pod.
Right.
I don't know what they'll be discussing, but they are back.
Either.
They're
back for Pantless Wednesday.
Yeah, they are.
7:05 Eastern, by the way.
Yeah,
7:05 Eastern.
And also on Mondays, which was just yesterday, we have the Sidebar Cantina live every Monday on YouTube at 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Right, they talked about Bad Batch episode 1 and 2.
So if you want to want to watch their podcast from yesterday, go to YouTube. I have.
Hey, don't read it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I just lost the banners.
That's okay. I knew what it was next.
All right, we already did
that.
Orange and Pet Show on Spotify and YouTube.
You go, subscribe to them and give them a listen and a watch.
Sweet Studios, Big Sweet Sexual Adventure, and Tactical Sweet, only on YouTube.
Yes.
Plus, he's also got Explicit Noise, which they just released a new, or been a couple weeks now, but they did a Journey song, which Luna Girl's brother was singing.
And speaking of Luna Girl,
what?
The Stranger Things podcast too.
Okay, you want to skip over? Keep playing me. Fine.
No, we'll go back to him.
No, you want when Stranger Things has happened, so let's do it.
There's also Stranger Things has happened on YouTube with Luna Girl and Dawn Delisnitscholsky.
Right, and they're gonna be live this week.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's Saturday night.
Saturday night.
The end of season 2.
Oh wow! So it's probably what 6 p.m. Eastern time.
God damn, you would fucking ask me that.
While we're looking up that, also Layman's Terms is on YouTube only. Go ahead and search out his channel and give him a listen and a subscribe too. He'll discuss anything from magic to to movies to whatever's on his mind.
Yeah, in a drunken banter.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, Stranger Things has happened pod now. Also has Instagram.
Oh yes, and also Instagram for Stranger Things has happened. So we're still looking. As a reminder, all links are in the show notes pinned to the
may
top.
not have set a time yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't show it on the Instagram.
All right, so take the socials.
PYT.
Follow the socials, and she'll let you know what time they'll be going live.
And as a reminder, all links are in the show notes pinned to the top of our Twitter page. And go to bio.link/useabusepod.
And now we are done with the business. If you want to just
that button, this button, that button.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Please get your shit together.
Apparently, yes.
Well, what the fuck? I just lost a comment.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, like I've never fucking done this.
I know.
Alrighty. Well, let's get some. Oh, look, Nightbot's in.
Oh, lovely.
Well, yeah, he's just throwing up links and shit for us.
I know he is.
Anyways, ready to bring our guest in?
Yes, let's bring our guest.
1/3 of Rogue One Radio, Nicole.
Cool.
Hey, Nicole.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I decided, why have like a 50s cosplay and just keep it put away? I thought I'd bring it out again because Kim didn't get to see this last time, although I was sporting a pink ladies jacket also last time, Kim. So,
okay.
But this red scarf actually was from when I went to go see a couple of Elvis impersonators, and I got lucky. I got one of them thrown to me, and I got it signed by both of them. So,
nice.
Right on.
So I'm like, all right, y'all, here we go. I got my pins. I love my rock and roll pins and my car pins. Who knows? Maybe I'll change it up as we do this Elvis stuff throughout this year. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I always wanted to live in the 50s anyways. Why not? Enjoy it, right? Right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, for me, like, music-wise, I grew up in the right generation. Movie-wise, I probably grew up in the right generation. Cars, I didn't grow up in the right generation.
Same. Wrong generation in cars.
Yep.
I give my 50s any day.
Yep. Same here. So,
yeah.
There we go.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to do a little show and tell, and we got a country thing first.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to country first.
Yes, I love country. I love country and a little rock and roll.
Because finally, this one got released where we could get the final second one, because this artist decided to release volume 1,
and
then volume 3, and now finally releases volume 2.
Hey, volume 2 took the longest to put in motion.
Is that? It is.
Dark Brooks, the anthology part 2 finally is out. Hold that.
No problem.
And just like all the other ones, all the other anthologies, it comes with a nice booklet or book.
Oh, wow.
And
yes,
that is really nice, Scott.
Yep.
Kim. That's a beautiful, addition to your collection. That's lovely.
yeah, Yeah, we got one part one and part two, and I got the microphone away from my mouth, so that's good. We got part one and part two. Bought those both at Walmart.
Yes.
As they came out, and then or part one and part three, I should say, because this is part two.
Yeah, part two we got different.
Part one obviously went over his first 5 albums, I think it was.
Yes, it was his first 5 albums.
And then this one covers the rest of them, and then the live one covers all his live shows.
Yes, it does.
But yeah.
There we go. Oh, sorry about hitting the microphone.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. But you know what? This next one's freaking cool for me.
Oh gosh, I did it again.
Come on, Kim.
And I thought that one was pretty cool.
Oh, this next one's cool for me because I literally had this my sophomore year in high school. It was brand new when I bought it then, or got it. My parents bought it for me for that school year. And of course, who doesn't destroy these things but boys? And looking through Amazon, I realized that they remade these, and actually brought out the original design I had my sophomore year.
Oh,
so it's like a retro throwback. And part of the reason why I got it is because of Stranger Things, because it's been doing a lot of 80s throwback and stuff.
Well, gee, but you can find me one.
But
what? Oh, it's a Trapper Keeper.
Yep.
And what? Nice. Wow. Keep all your show notes in there, Scott.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the nice part is, excuse me, by the way, for my sophomore year, they had switched this to plastic.
Yeah.
Instead of the metal rings.
Yeah, they did.
And they did, and you pulled the little tab and slide them out.
Yep.
And slide them back in.
Yep.
So I'm happy it went back to old school where it was the metal rings.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm freaking happy for it. I mean, I love Trapper Keepers.
They were the bomb. Tell you,
I mean, somewhere's back there. We actually still have my original senior year.
Yeah.
Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And that one didn't get destroyed because I wasn't into destroying it that year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Times change.
It does.
But I think you got some show and tells.
I do. Okay, so because of because of who we're celebrating for the movie we're talking about tonight, I decided to grab out 2 things from thrifting that would be somehow included into tonight. So I may or may not have shown these on when ours passed, but okay. The first one is related but not related, so you'll have to pay attention while we're talking about it tonight. But this actually is a record of A Star is Born. It is the 3rd adaptation of A Star is Born with Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand. I say 3rd because the second one was with Judy Garland, and the newest one is Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. But the 3rd one was with these 2. It's a very great find. I love it. Hold on. There, look at that.
Right.
And how to Elvis Presley. Again, you'll have to stay tuned as we talk about the movie tonight. So
yes.
Good. I love Elvis. And speaking of Elvis, I think I've shared maybe with the girls or something. I also found this thrifting, and I love it. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this is real because on the back it says Memphis State Fair 1956. It's a picture of that.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Now, I have yet to take the frame out. I've yet to take out the cardboard because I'm kind of like, do I want to disturb the piece or do I just want to keep it there? Part of me wants to take it out and see if there's any more information, but I think it's awesome. And again, it says on the back, it was from the Memphis State Fair, 1956. So
Nice.
cool. And I found this thrifting. I love
That's
it.
awesome.
So I
That
thought
is awesome.
some show and tell that was geared towards tonight. And especially this week was Elvis's birthday and things like that.
Yeah, on the 8th. And,
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna cover over a little bit of news. And before we cover over that news, first thing I want to do is say happy birthday tomorrow to Luna Girl and 2-year-old Case, our grandson.
Yep.
Happy birthday to Casey. Happy birthday to Hannah. And happy early birthday to Kelly / aka Lunar Girl. Sidebar Cantina.
Exactly. And Red 5 Network and Stranger Things.
I was just going to say that. I was thinking, and Red 5 Network cruise director.
Right.
That should be like her official title. Like,
there you go.
Red 5 Network, cruise director.
Exactly. Well, I know we didn't do this last week. I should have, though. Well, actually, I didn't get this just until this earlier this week from Ultimate Classic Rock, but there are a bunch of albums turning 40 this year.
Oh, wow.
So instead of like reading the whole list, I figured as we got close to each one,
okay,
we would read that one
okay,
for that week. So unfortunately, this one's actually happened on January 4th, 1983.
Oh, wow.
The Eurythmics album, Sweet Dreams Are Made of These.
Oh my God.
40 years old.
Wow.
So in case you don't feel old, now I do.
Yeah.
I quote that song, Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. And sometimes I will start singing that song, or I will quote that song.
Exactly.
Who are you to disagree? Like, I don't. The whole song is worth quoting from and using as quotes. The lyrics are perfect.
It is. It is. And since we were talking birthdays, let's go ahead and cover some January 10th birthdays.
Yes.
That's today.
Yes, that is today.
Amazing. January 10th already of 2023.
Yeah.
So still here. Woohoo!
Yep. All these people were born on the sign of the Capricorn.
Okay.
Include musician Ronnie Hawkins in 1935.
Okay.
Singer Jim Croce in 1943.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the late Jim Croce. I love Jim Croce.
Yep, so do I.
I mean, he's amazing. Again, another legend. Slightly later than Elvis, but yes. I'm thinking of my for like literally that. Like, Jim Croce was definitely playing, in the car and on the radio.
Oh yeah, I mean my favorite song. Well, we would go into a little five and dime or a mama pop hamburger stand, and every time we walked in, their daughter would pop a quarter out of her out of the change thing on her waist and put it right in the jukebox and play Bad Bad Leroy Brown for me every time we walked in. So yeah, I love Jim Croce.
Man in the whole dang town.
Yep.
He's even better than King Kong. Did you know that? And he was leader. My parents taught me well.
Exactly. Also celebrating a birthday today is singer Frank Sinatra Jr. in 1944.
Wow.
Okay.
Turning 78 today. Obviously, the one thing I like about this is they give you the year, and then if they are still alive, they give you the age. Turning 78 today is singer-songwriter Rod Stewart.
Oh my gosh.
He was born in 45.
Yeah. I had Do You Think I'm Sexy coming to my brain. That was the first song from Rod Stewart. Why? I don't know. Or Forever Young. There you go. There's a good song. Forever Young.
Also, boxer George Foreman in 1949, age 74.
Wow.
Funny, he's 4 years younger than Rod Stewart.
Yeah, he is.
But then again, you got Rod Stewart. I mean, he was in Faces and,
Yeah.
Also another singer, born in 1953, age 70 this year. Pat Benatar.
Nice.
What?
My ultimate favorite song from her is Invincible off the Legend of Billie Jean.
Yes, I was just singing that. I was like, was born to be innocent. I can hear it. Stand up and face your enemies, man.
Yeah, we actually bought that movie on Blu-rays. Kim had never seen it. I found it on Blu-ray, so I was like, oh, heck with this, I'm buying it because I hadn't watched it in a long time.
Oh, I loved it.
Very young Christian Slater.
Yeah.
It was his first one, actually, his first official movie, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God.
And last but not least, real quick, singer Sean Colvin in 1956, age 67.
Wow.
So happy birthday, all you.
Yes.
And everybody's born under the sign of the Capricorn this month. Hope.
And our belated late Mr. Elvis Presley.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he was born on the 8th of January.
Yep, January 8th, 1935, I believe.
Yes.
And
Good job, Kim.
And he died 1977, but I can't remember what the month and year. But I do remember his birthday. August, yeah. August. Oh my gosh. I knew his birthday, but hey.
Damn it, now I went blank. I think it's the 5th or something.
Yeah.
Close around there.
Yeah.
Anyways. Since we're talking about why did I take my glasses off? I know I can't see this with my glasses on. On the 8th, however, we had a news report. Adam Rich, who starred in the enormous hit 80 Is Enough, has passed away. TMZ has learned a family member.
Something about that.
Hmm?
I do remember that. August 16th,
August
Mr.
16th, that's what it was.
Gone too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah, 42.
42, yeah.
A family. I might have to let you read this, Kim.
Yes, 8 and Enough. I can barely remember that show, but I think my parents said I know that they knew I liked it and stuff.
Yeah, I remember parts of it. I mean, I don't remember it fully.
All right. It says Adam Rich, who starred in the enormous hit 8 Is Enough, has died. TMZ has learned. A family member tells TMZ Adam died Saturday at his LA area home. The family member would not reveal the cause of death, but a law enforcement source tells TMZ someone came to his home and found him lifeless. The law enforcement source adds, this was not foul play. Adam played Nicholas Bradford, the youngest son on 8 Is Enough. The series ran from 1977 to 1981. He had other credits as well, including Code Red in 1981 and Dungeons and Dragons in 1983. Adam made VH1's list of the greatest 100 kid stars, coming in at number 73. He retreated from show business in the 80s because he said he did not like the glare of the spotlight, or for that matter, anything celebrity related.
Oh.
Adam took up acting at Chatsworth High School in San Fernando Valley. His drama teacher also taught Kevin Spacey, Val Kilmer, and other big actors. Sadly, Adam had substance abuse issues, which resulted in a 1991 arrest after he smashed a pharmacy window in an effort to obtain drugs. He was bailed out by Dick Van Patten, his TV dad, on 8 Is Enough. He had other legal issues as well. Adam's mantra, life is for living, and I live my life to the fullest every day. Adam was 54. Rest in peace.
Yep. So real quick, I want to say hello to Fulcrum Entertainment. I believe that is Gilbert, right?
I guess.
I think it's Gilbert. Also, Shanti is saying that she is working and she is lurking.
Lurking and working.
Yep. Backyard Target says, as a kid, he didn't really know Elvis as a musician, but as a movie star.
Yeah.
And of course, he remembered him being a running gag in Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman's in the 90s.
Yes.
The 90s. And then he also says he's in the back.
I'm in the background working and lurking.
Working and
lurking.
Yep.
All right, real quick, make sure there's anything else I really wanted to touch on. Oh, yeah. Well, this is okay. First of all, Paramount Plus released a teaser trailer of Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies on Monday.
I saw something about that, and I'm trying to decide how I feel about it right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I can't.
Jacket and tell you how I feel about it. But I have to see the full trailer to fully give.
Exactly. It's a musical prequel series, and it premieres April 6th. Series is set in 1954. 4 years before Grease took place. That means it is 1 year before the seniors of Grease entered high school.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't want to say anything bad about it because of the fact that we haven't watched the trailer. I didn't watch it. I was going to with Kim and I forgot to pull it up and do it.
seen the trailer either. I noticed that it popped up for me again. I do actually. My Pink Ladies jacket's just right there next to me. So I talked about this. I think on Saturday. I think you were actually on, or maybe with was it work? No, on Sunday. Sunday. I can't remember. Y'all, I'm all over the place. Okay, so I had said something about how I love time period shows, right? I love, love, love time pieces. My biggest thing, and this is nothing against the Pink Ladies, because again, I haven't seen the trailer yet, but this is just in general, is when they try to take what is happening today, what is happening now, including language, and putting it back then.
Yep.
With the look of that time, and that's just not fair. It's not the word. It's not fair. That's not the right. It's not the right wording for it. It's not accurate, and it's not a good depiction. And I just kind of like, how's this going to happen? How's this going to go? And actually, that was my original thought. Was when I saw the ad, because it came through like when I was pulling up I was pulling up like Google or something, it popped up or something, and I remember going, and going, but is it going to be time accurate? Is it going to make it look that way, but put all the stuff from today? And me kind of, do I really want that? Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, not to make people upset, but like if you're gonna do time period, do it right. Do it.
I think what was it we were on with you?
She mentioned it on Sunday with Danny when she was with Danny.
Yeah. I'm like, I swear I was with you. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys heard me say this the other day. Like, I'm like, it's weekend, and I couldn't remember if I had said it in a chat or if I had said it on screen. And I really. Again, that was my thought when I saw the Pink Lady. I haven't seen the trailer, and it's nothing against the trailer yet. But that was what I thought when I saw that. I had saw the headline about, Paramount Plus is bringing out Pink Ladies, and I love Grace. Obviously, again, this is part of my cosplay. I mean, I even have like a Pink Ladies jacket and everything. So I just hope they do it justice.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to bring out Pink Ladies 4 years before if you're not going to do 4 years accurate, the 4 years before it accurately.
Right. And
I don't want your modernism in there. I'm sorry. So
yeah. Well, I mean what was it? The
Willow. You mentioned Willow.
Right. It was during. It was when I think we were on with Nicole during Danny's 1 year celebration of her doing live streams, and we were talking about Willow that night, and there was a couple points there in the first. I think it was the very first episode where they had used language from today, and it's like that it is yanked out of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I still haven't finished Willow. I want to, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm just giving myself time.
Right.
Like, now I don't want to, like, it's not as important to me anymore.
Right. I mean,
they kind of pulled me out of that fantasy land.
Right. I mean, you can look at it this way. It'd be like if Lucas would have added in Return of the Jedi, would have had Luke, Han, or Leia say like, totally wow, man.
Yeah.
Or totally rad.
Exactly.
That would have taken you completely out of it. Or tubular.
As Shanti would say, get out. I'm taking her words, get out. That's how I would feel about it. We cannot hear you.
Oh, yeah, she's got to run.
Okay.
For
a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, so, well, heck, Nicole, I know you can answer this. I'm sure you might have seen it. Yabaldo wants to know thoughts on the new trailer for Ant-Man.
Yes. Okay. So I did. I actually watched the college game last night. Hey, everybody. So to respond to you, Baldo, so welcome to the chat. Yes, I saw the new Ant-Man last night trailer. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I was already excited before. I thought it was pretty awesome. I'm excited, but I'm almost hesitant a little bit because I kind of wondering what's going to happen with Ant-Man now. Now I'm kind of like, is he going to win the first battle or is he going to lose during the first one? We'll see. Just so that they can get to the next one, and to prepare for the next Avengers. But no, I saw it. I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool. I went straight to my AMC app and went, "Are tickets on sale yet?" And they were not on sale yet. So
yeah, unfortunately, I have not seen it, and probably by the time the movie
is much different from the original, which is fine by me. I mean, yeah, there's new stuff, but
well, I mean, I'm only into Thor right now on my watching through the MCU, so I'm taking my time at it. It's not like a must for me.
Okay.
I mean, the only part of the MCU I even ever grew up on was Spider-Man on the Electric Company.
Spider-Man. But I love Paul Rudd, so I'm loving my Ant-Man. Nothing against my Bucky and my Captain America.
Yeah, but I mean, so for me is I'll watch a few here to a point, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I can say, like, even the first 3 X-Men movie, I only watched the first 2.
Okay, right.
I didn't watch the third one, and then I watched all of the extra ones they did with Wolverine, except for I haven't watched Logan yet. But we haven't.
I'm so excited about Deadpool and Wolverine. So excited.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I mean, I think for me, like,
my tickets now.
I think after Batman Returns, and then Joel Schumacher taking over and doing what he did with that series really took me out of superhero movies. And then Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, I mean, I did like those, at least the first one. And then from there, like I said, Kim's sister Karina wanted me to watch the first X-Men, go to the theater. I'm like, why? It's not my thing. I didn't watch it growing up. And I certainly hell didn't read the comics. I didn't watch the cartoons. I mean, those cartoons came out in the 90s. I mean, I was already raising a daughter by then. So I was watching the cartoons and whatnot. And I wasn't a comic book reader. I mean, I think through my teenage years, I owned 3 comic books.
Well, I didn't get into comic books until about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7. It's not long. I'm still, under a decade since I started reading comics, because I lived out in rural country and we didn't have a comic book store close by. So I didn't have an opportunity to read them. There's a really good chance, though, if I would have, part of me goes, I wonder would I've gotten into them. Maybe there's a good chance, because I was always in our school's library. I was always getting out another book, and sometimes 3 at a time, and returning them to grab another career, whatever. And so there's also a chance, though, I would have. I'm like, well, I read the card. I read Blondie. You know what I mean? For those who didn't know, Blondie and Dagwood actually had books about them originally, and I read the books, in high school, because I just wanted to, So so there is a chance, but I didn't know. So if you don't know, how do you know?
Right, exactly. But yeah, no, and I figured you might have seen that trailer, so I was happy.
I did. I actually went. I mean, what a college game last night, man! Georgia
that wasn't a game. That was a massacre.
That was a massacre. I think the last time I'd seen a massacre like that, at least for me in college ball, was when the Oregon Ducks were in the Rose Bowl about 5 or 6 years ago, and they just dominated, to the point that we were bored. I remember I was at a friend's house, and we'd had a party the night before, and we had stayed there. We were watching the game and stuff, and I remember we all got bored. We were like, wow, this is I wanted the Ducks to win at the time, and then I was like, now I'm bored. I only watched last night because of Ant-Man, actually. Nice.
Your bottle says he will admit he loves Evangeline Lilly and Shanti then says she's beautiful all over as the wasp.
Yes.
And then as Kim returns, one other thing, since we kind of went into sports a little bit, real quick, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin was released from the Cincinnati hospital Monday, returned home to Buffalo, New York, 1 week
Good.
after suffering cardiac arrest during the team's Monday Night Football game against the Bengals. Hamlin, he confirmed the transfer in a tweet Monday morning to from the Buffalo General Medical Center in Buffalo, where he will continue to recover, which is awesome.
Yes, I'm so excited and praise God that he's going home.
Yeah.
I hope though that they take time to kind of figure out. He's very young.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't want theories. I would love, and this is for him. This is not for the public to go, well, what happened, right? It's none of our
Right.
business. Hopefully he can go HIPAA to us. But really, I hope that he takes time and his doctors take the time and find out what happened.
Exactly.
And not just guess, but find out and how best to, and especially because if it is something that needs to be put out there, that they figure it out so they can help other people too in the long run.
Right.
But for his sake and for his own private sake, I hope that they figure out.
Exactly.
And it's from somebody who, caregivers for family. And, I know that they go to the cardiologist all the time. So it's important to take care of your heart, people.
Yep.
Take care of your heart. So even when it's important to do.
Yep. And one final news piece, and this one is definitely relatable for tonight. Going once, going twice. Sold for $260,000. Elvis Presley's 1962 Lockheed 1329 Jetstar crossed the block at the Meekum Kissimmee car collector car auction in Florida yesterday on January 8th. Huh?
What is the actual item? I got lost.
It was his 1962 Lockheed 1329 Jetstar, his airplane, the Lisa Marie.
Oh, wow.
It sold for $260,000. Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted, Kim.
Family, because Lisa Marie's still obviously alive. So,
well, it was actually sold years ago to some guy who now wanted to get rid of it because his plan was to put it in front of his business, and then use it as a tourist trap. But he pretty much figured out you can't do that, so he just left it in New Mexico where it sat.
So did it?
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and bidding started at $100,000, jumped to $150,000, but settled at $200,000. Only with plenty of coaxing did it get up to $240,000, where it stayed for a number of minutes. Finally, $260,000 came from a telephone bidder. The reserve came off, and the hammer fell.
So is it still up? Okay, so they brought it to the auction.
No, it's still in friggin' New Mexico.
So whoever gets it's going to have to really do some repairs on it then, and restoration on it.
Right. If they want to keep it up and going, they're going to have to restore it slightly.
Right. So businessman Jim, somebody of Madera, California, he was the original owner of, or the one who got it in 2017 for $498,000.
Wow.
He took a loss.
Yeah, he did.
But the problem was that all that, the engines are all gone.
Yeah,
I've seen a YouTube video where somebody actually went and looked at it, and it is in bad shape.
Well, that's what I thought, because I think I seen the same YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and when you don't take care of it, it's just gonna go.
No, I mean Elvis, when he bought that, he bought it in 1976, a year before his death, and it was $840,000 that he paid for it when he bought it.
Yeah,
because of how custom it was.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, but then again, as you let things sit, especially out in the desert,
They rot.
It rots bad.
So the new owner of it's going to have to really do some restoration work on it to get it back to what it originally looked like when Elvis had it.
Oh, that's going to take a lot more than that.
I know.
So before we do too much into, as soon as I find all my things out of Stranger Things.
IMBD. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want Stranger Things though.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you're talking. Oh, okay.
No. I must. Oh, there we go. All right. So, one thing, or actually, I'm going to bring a few things up. There's actually a couple point or a moment here. Two things that are going to actually cover in this movie. We're going to actually veer into Star Wars for a moment.
Okay.
And into Stranger Things.
I know.
Because of this movie.
I know Stranger Things you're going to veer into. I didn't realize Star Wars was in there.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Before we get to the main event, though, I don't know if we want to talk about, but this is going to be kind of created into a possibility of a 2 to 3 series.
At least a 3 series. Okay, so what
we're doing just tonight, because there's fun stuff coming, and
right.
I'm so excited for it all.
Right. So easily what we got planned for this year is, you guys know, last year we did our first annual March Music Madness, and we covered a lot of our artists at that moment.
Yes, we did.
We were supposed to, in August of last year, cover a bunch of other artists.
Yes,
but
we were.
Things fell through with weather and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so we didn't do it. So we decided to move most of those artists to March of this year.
Yes.
Which includes the very first episode of March. So the very first day in March, that is a Tuesday, will be Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
so we're literally we're going to talk about Elvis 2022 movie today.
Then in March, we're going to do his music.
Right, the part 2.
And then part 3.
Part 3, we're going to
cover his acting career.
His movies.
I love it. When you guys told me that idea, I was like, I was already like, dude, you guys are like vibing with me, because I was just like, dude, I was thinking of a 2-part, and then you guys went 3, and I'm like, I like it.
And
I love it, because it really does break down everything, because there is a lot to cover with the man himself. So,
and this, if we really wanted to, we could go 4. If we really wanted to, we could go 4.
Yeah, what would be the 4th one?
Concerts?
Oh yeah, concerts.
I mean,
I didn't get to do his concerts though, so it sucks. But maybe we can comeback special.
But there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Like you said, 68 comeback special is available.
Aloha from Hawaii.
I've got the audio version. I know. I'm sure I can buy the DVD somewhere for now.
Cool fun fact. Talk about thrifting, and I didn't get to get it. By the way, I didn't get to get it. So I saw an Elvis Presley vinyl from Hawaii, original, and it went to e-com because they knew that they would get more online than they would on the floor. I'm like, please just put it on the floor for $50 or something.
Was it the Aloha one?
It was the real one, the real Elvis Presley live from Hawaii. I was like, oh man, I talk about fangirling, you guys. Or being a groupie, whatever. I just was so excited to look at the vinyl. I was like, oh my god, this is so pretty. And yeah, I'm telling you, if I would have been born actually alive when Elvis was alive, man, I would have been jealous of Priscilla. I would have wanted to see him. What? Look at that beauty. Mwah, chef's kiss. But this was an original. I don't know if that's a remake, but this was an original. I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever.
This is original.
I'm so jealous.
I love eBay.
Oh. I know. I totally can. I'll fangirl over Elvis. I know. I don't know if it's fangirl, if it's groupie at this point. I don't know what the correct terminology is for the 50s or 60s.
Yeah. No, we got an Elvis lot off of eBay.
We did
in 2019.
And this was part of it, the original Aloha.
I about died when that showed up.
Oh, yes, he did.
Because, yeah.
I'm so glad you rose from the grave, Scott, because I'm glad you're here so we can talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and then, I mean, just a little tidbit, my love for Elvis not only comes from my mom listening to his music, but I also had an aunt that was very much into Elvis. I mean, every place you looked in her house, she had something Elvis.
Yeah.
And so she would tell us a lot about his life too. And she was that much into it. So I learned a lot from her.
So let's just say when I married your sister, I met her for the very first time. And your sister pointed out that I was a huge Elvis fan. Me and her became really good friends at that moment.
Yes.
Because of the love for the king. So,
yes. I know the person I went with to see Elvis in the theaters with, she, a friend and coworker, she actually got to be at one of Elvis's last concerts in Chicago. And I know, right? I know. Let me tell you, when we were preparing to go see it, okay, I remember looking at her going, that's not Elvis on your shirt, Scott.
Nope. It's Ro Reynolds.
I remember looking at her going, you got the coolest brownie points ever. You just went a whole new bracket of friendship and levels in my brain and in my world. And so it was so neat because when I got to go with her to see the movie, she could confirm things. And I will talk more about my friend and coworker later. And with permission, I already got permission for that. As we were watching the movie, both positives and negatives. And it was just so neat to kind of be with her. And then, of course, she was the one who went with me when we went to go see the Elvis impersonators and things. But, oh, boy. It's interesting to see it through somebody else's eyes who's actually got to live through it.
Right.
That's pretty neat. And then there's part of me that goes, I wish it was me.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to be there.
Yeah. I mean, my mom years ago teased me and goes, well, you've been to Elvis, right? I'm like, what? I'm like, how? I'm like, well, obviously I was a baby or something. I'm like, you guys actually took me as a baby to see Elvis? Were you just crazy? No, what happened is he came to Lake Tahoe where they were working for Sprouts Rice at the time. And they had oversold the concert, the venue. So they literally brought speakers outside, and she was pregnant with me at the time, and blasting through the speakers is Elvis singing live.
See, it starts. Oh man!
So it's no wonder I love Elvis.
I can remember watching the movies and his movies and watching, listening to his music and stuff. But I can remember, I think there's so many other ways that people are inspired by him. Like somebody had mentioned the Lois and Clark, but I can always remember watching Full House, and Uncle Jesse was a huge Elvis Presley fan. And oh my gosh, between Elvis Presley and Uncle Jesse, could my heart stand it anymore? Here's I am as a little girl, going, oh my God, Uncle Jesse's so cute. And then it's but Elvis Presley,
And to answer Backyard Tardis real quick, he asks, is there any other musician that people do that where they will fill their house with merch? And I will also say not only Elvis, but probably the Beatles.
Kiss.
Dolly. Kiss. I have my Dolly albums. I've got over 13 of those.
Right. But the ones had major merch was definitely Elvis, Beatles, and Kiss.
Yep.
We'll probably talk about the merch with the movie too.
Right. But those are the ones who really had the major merch out. Now, a lot of them are starting to come out with more merch nowadays.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't think you're going to see the fandom of Elvis compared to the other three is not even close.
Yeah. Again, I know we'll be touching on that because that got brought up in the movie.
Yeah. Anyways, so Elvis.
Elvis.
Are we ready for the main event?
I think we kind of built up enough.
You sure?
Yeah, built up enough. Oh, breadcrumbs. There we go.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah, built up enough breadcrumbs. So I think we should go on to the main event.
Okay, you think we should?
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, let me see here. Trying to find everything here.
Let's say I got notes too,
Oh,
good.
good.
in case if I need to bring up anything. But I got notes.
Okay.
And
Well,
tonight is the Golden Globes, and Austin Butler is also up for that.
nice.
No.
And
Speaking of which,
one
okay.
award suite for
Well,
his.
let's talk about Austin Butler first. He is the actor who was brought in to portray Elvis.
Yes, he was.
Holy hell.
Yes.
One, he's saying all the younger parts, and then they intermix between real Elvis and him for the older Elvis parts. There was actually you didn't see it, but there was a little
Documentary.
thing on HBO Max that actually talked about this. And I went,
Oh.
whoa, that's cool.
Oh, I
So
tried.
they actually interwoven both of Austin and real, Elvis Presley himself into the older Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing I will say that, and I wanted to bring this up early, was I don't know who needs to get with a certain actor, but they need to get with this actor and say, can we get a biography from you? Because Austin could play you too. He can play not just play Elvis, but he can also play this other actor I'm thinking of. Because the whole time I'm watching this, not only am I thinking this guy, he does look like Elvis, but at the same time, like, damn, he could play fucking John Travolta.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a possibility.
There's this point where he, at certain spots, I'm like,
because of Grease,
right?
probably.
Exactly. Yes, because Travolta's character was definitely based off of Elvis.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm like looking at this going, oh wow, he could definitely play John.
Mm-hmm.
And like, somebody better be writing this story and get it done, get it made now, because it could be. I think it would be a hit. But anyways, all right, Kim, my voice is killing me.
Okay, so I'll
Literally.
All right, so where do you want me to start here?
Oh, just.
I'm gonna interject real quick. For Austin Butler, though, I felt he was perfect for this role. And here's a couple of reasons why. One, the physical looks. Because in real life, Elvis was really a blunt. He was lighter side, and so is in Austin. He's got the same kind of build, the same kind of look, and he's so dreamy looking. Even the younger person who played Elvis also did a really good portrayal of a young Elvis. Again, because that lighter hair, that actual, closer to the complexion.
Exactly.
I have it here. I've got my notes here. I swear. Sorry, Elvis. And then young Elvis as well by Shaden or Jaden J. I don't know because it's a CH. His name starts with, and he played the younger Elvis. And again, I just loved those portrayals. Austin Butler also recently was on SNL. Now I'm not huge. I only watched parts of SNL. Okay, I literally went to my favorite parts, but he ended it because there was a goodbye to one of the cast members, and he sang "Blue Christmas." And on my heart, I think I almost teared up because it was. I was like, is it him or is it Elvis? Because it's just like his voice was such a dead ringer. You would think it was him. And it was just a sweet, nod to the cast member, but then it was such, what a sweet thing. And even from what I've gathered from I was looking at notes today from Graceland, I was looking at notes from Priscilla Presley and Lisa Marie and stuff, is that the family loved him. Yes. Like they loved and encouraged and embraced, Austin Butler in this role. And it just seems like and he's won he's already won awards, and we're just getting into the real big one.
Right. The award season is now opened up.
And really, I think it's between him and Brandon Fraser on everything at this point. I'm like, it's going to be dead heats, I think. He just won the People's Choice Award for Elvis Presley. And I'm just like, so already I'm very happy that he's already gotten recognition for his role. Because it was so, I felt it was amazing, and he did a fantastic job. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like a few times I had to like, wait, am I seeing? Who am I seeing here?
Who am I seeing? Who am I hearing?
Right. And I mean, again, he did a great job. And then the other little tidbit is him and Elvis were both 23 years old when they both lost their moms.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was actually on that piece I watched earlier, that his mom actually passed away at 23 too. Austin's mom did. So he also has that. I mean, it's like, everything it's just like a perfect
Match.
Sibian, Sibian, or whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah.
Where everything matched. Yeah, you're right. Matched up for, here's this younger guy, but everything matched perfect to Elvis. And I mean, and the fact is that is his audition song was Unchained Melody.
Oh wow.
And that, okay, one, it's been sung twice now by two iconic. I mean, Elvis Presley and the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah.
And they both chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered, and this is just me, I've always wondered, because I know, I mean, obviously Elvis did a lot of different people's songs and made them better.
Oh my yes.
And I don't mean, I'm not going to say that the original artist was wrong, because they had, their version was great too, but Elvis just boom made it even better. I'm wondering how, if he would have lived, what he would have done out of the 80s.
Yeah.
What artists and stuff would he pull stuff from and made that song even better.
Yeah, made it his.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, he can make everything his.
Yes, yeah.
My favorite fun fact of the one that he didn't get and didn't get to have.
Oh, I was gonna say, I can guess this one. I did.
Oh yeah, but then Whitney Houston also made it her own too. Again, another chef's kiss.
You know why?
One that got away from him.
Well, you know why it got away from him, right?
What?
You know why it got away from him?
Well, she said no.
She said no. It's actually in the trivia section here. She actually said no for one reason only, and I'm happy she did, because
it's her baby.
It's kind of bullcrap what they did. I mean, the way Colonel Tom would work. The Colonel, where the hell is it now? I know I saw it.
Oh, does it talk about the Colonel?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, when we get into him.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Talk about real quick.
Okay.
There's a couple.
That's oh.
I'm glad we're on the same page, Kim. I can already tell. I'm like, oh, we're on the same wavelength today. Got it. Wow. Yeah. Oh, what a piece
Here it is. During his later years, Elvis Presley would often collaborate with R&B gospel group. The Sweet Inspirations. The group was founded by Sissy Houston and her sister Lee Warwick. Sissy is the mother of Whitney Houston.
Oh, wow.
Whitney would go on to become an awards-winning singer and would have her biggest hit, I Will Always Love You, which was, just talked about, written and initially sung by Dolly Parton. Elvis wanted to record the song, and Dolly was willing to allow him to record it. Unfortunately, Colonel Tom Parker told her for Elvis to record the song, she has to relinquish the song's rights. She refused.
My girl.
Exactly.
My girl. I mean, smart. She's a very smart businesswoman.
Yeah.
Like, she knew what she had. She knew what was special. Also, that was a very deep, emotional song. I know we're talking about Elvis, but that was about her and Porter Wagner. That was a goodbye song. For her, no, Smart. It was Smart. And
Right.
Colonel. I can't wait until we talk about him.
All right.
Mm.
Shall we follow this thing in chronological order as in the movie, or should we just bounce around and have fun like we normally do?
It's up to you.
I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do. I'll leave it up to you ladies to decide.
Well, the way it opened up, I had to put it on pause a few times to make sure what was going on.
Okay, so do we just want to start with the Colonel? Do we just want to go to do you want to get the negative out of the way?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I will say, so I'm going to go back to again, with permission, with my friend. When we went to go see it in the movie theater, again, I already knew the fun fact that she'd seen, Elvis in concert and things like that. And I did not know much about Colonel Parker going into this. I only knew a little bit about him, but I didn't know much. And all I know is that when we sat there and when the movie opened up, I kind of felt this odd feeling, like, what? And I looked at her face. Her face was angry. It was partially sad. It was partially frustrated. Like, I saw such a range of emotion. I'm like, she had so much emotion. She could have been in the acting in the movie at that point. And I kind of went, wait, this is not from Elvis's perspective. This is mostly going to be from his perspective. I thought she won't lose it. And she said later on, even afterwards, we talked about it. She's like, she was in shock that it came from his perspective. It was actually the one thing I didn't like. Well, no, I have one other thing I really didn't like about the movie. I didn't like that it was from his perspective. And I could tell how she was feeling. I could feel it. It was crazy. She was just like, nope. And she said even her husband later, when he finally watched it, he was just like, why him? Why the person that kept him drugged or kept him doing this, or, they truly believed, he did Elvis wrong, and right. And then of course today, again, for research, I was also looking on Graceland.com because you can do that stuff. And it's so mixed. So I'm like, was somebody trying to even the playing field with this? Is that why they had to come from his perspective? I'm not sure. I mean, kudos to Tom Hanks. He did a brilliant job per usual, portraying this Colonel. But like him, I was also dealing with the person next to me who I could see wanted to cry, who was upset. And when it was just Elvis, it was fine. But when it was coming from his perspective, it was just like, she was like, nope, I don't want this. Like, she didn't want him.
Yeah, I can attest to. I mean, I figured it out. I mean, I figured it out early on when watching the trailer. I'm like, okay, this is not going to be. They're calling it Elvis, but really, it's going to be Elvis from Colonel Tom. I had that intuition that it was going to be from his side, and I thought this ought to be interesting.
Right, and I don't know if I saw a trailer. Maybe I did, but all I knew was Elvis, and I wanted to go. That's all I needed to Elvis, and I'm in.
Well, and that's the thing is how many people didn't see the trailer and they just saw the title Elvis. So at that moment there, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be about Elvis. This is going to be everything either from his perspective or from the perspective of the Memphis Mafia, people that were around him, his family, his, friends. And, as it opens up and then all of a sudden, like, I didn't kill Elvis. And then as it goes on, through and then eventually to the part of I'm like, mother, I hit pause. I'm like, dude, I'm
watching Kim's face right now. It's almost the same as my friends. Like, again, my coworker / friend. And Hard pill to swallow, right, Kim?
Uh-huh. It is.
You flew over this morning. You don't need to fly again today. That keeps
Oh.
wasting our taxpayer dollars.
That I had seen the trailer, so I kind of was prepared. But when it started, that's one of the things I highly disliked about it is it came from Colonel Parker's point of view. I highly disliked it.
Right, which then you're gonna get everything from his point of view, so things are skewed differently because he's seen it his way.
Yeah.
You know, I know I follow damn it, what's his name again? Mafia or Memphis Mafia Kid on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's part of the Memphis Mafia. He's his parents, anyways. I know I remember him talking. He's mentioned Elvis's mom multiple times and has called her Aunt Gladys. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually I watched it afterwards where he had talked about the movie, and him and his wife had actually left the theater disgusted, depressed.
Wow.
Because they actually didn't realize it was coming from Colonel Parker's point of view.
Right.
And they even mentioned that you should have called this Colonel Parker's Elvis.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But she kind of pointed out where this is the reason why people like Bernie and Gladys are shown in a different light than what most of us are used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just because you're seeing all this from a certain point of view, you know, and of course, what is the Colonel always, I mean, regardless of what they showed, because even that, I mean, I know this is how we do things, people, in case you don't remember how we do reviews, we jump all over the place.
Yeah, we do.
And we forget to warn people with spoilers, but oh well.
Oh, well.
And at the end, after it was all over, I mean, even the filmmakers pointed out what an ass he was.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know, by pointing out that, yes, he was abusing Elvis financially. You know, he was doing all these things. So for them to even point that out shows that they did it this way, but they want still to make sure everybody realizes he was a prick.
Yeah, he was.
So this is my other thing, because I do know, again, from the research and stuff, that Priscilla and the family got to see the movie beforehand. And I do wonder, because we know that they loved Austin. We've seen them out and about. We've seen them together and things like that. It does make me wonder, though, how did she feel about seeing this movie about her ex-husband? Although I get it, ex-husband, but I'm like, there will always be a connection there. And not just because of Lisa Marie.
Mm-mm.
But it makes me wonder how she felt about this being from Colonel Parker's perspective, or even for Lisa Marie, like his own daughter or his own grandkids. Like, how did they feel knowing this was coming from this man's perspective, who, from what I know, was not very good for Elvis, not very good for his life. I mean, yes, he was good for his business, because we get that. He was great for business, but at the same time, he was taken from that business more than what he was really should be.
Yep.
Right. So, and probably didn't help him, Elvis, in the sense of his medications and drugs that he was
right. So, have you ever read the book Elvis and Me by Priscilla?
Okay, one, no, it's on my to-do list because this movie and doing research has made me now want to read. Okay.
And by the way, they're also making it into a movie.
I was gonna say awesome. I heard about that. I found that out today, and I'm like, but at the same time, my heart's kind of breaking a little bit, because I'm like, it's not gonna be Austin. It's going to be somebody else totally new who's going to be in this role.
Will it?
And I would prefer it to be at this point. I'd rather it be Austin.
I mean, I think they ought to get Austin and the girl who played Priscilla in the Elvis movie.
Yeah.
The only thing is the girl who played Priscilla in this movie is a little bit more mature, so her age does not look about right, because Priscilla really was 14 with parents' permission. People, okay, this was a different time period.
Right.
Elvis was in his 20s. That's the only thing. And I remember that was one thing when that they got. I felt that I saw that they kind of got wrong is the fact that her age didn't look her age.
No.
She didn't look.
So I want to read this a little bit. You're talking about. So she just got off the phone with Lisa Marie because everyone's crying. This is the day Elvis passed away. And in the background, she hears Vernon moaning in agony. My son's gone. Dear God, I've lost my son. And she hangs up with Lisa Marie. But this is what she says at the end, or near the end of this. I hung up and walked in a daze, still numb with shock. The news hit the media instantly. My phones did not stop ringing with friends trying to cope with the shock, members of the family grasping for explanations, and the press demanding statements. I locked myself into the bedroom and left instructions I would not speak to anyone, that I wanted to be alone. In fact, I wanted to die. Love is very deceiving. Though we were divorced, Elvis was still an essential part of my life. Over the last years, we've become good friends, admitting the mistakes we've made in the past and just beginning to laugh at our shortcomings. I could not face the reality that I would never see him alive again. He had always been there for me. I depended on him just as he depended on me. We had a bond. We become closer and had more understanding and patience for each other than in our married life. We had even talked of one day, and now he was gone.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking.
It is.
But yes, I want to see it because I also was I'm telling you, I did some research, y'all. There was an Elvis. Well, there's the Elvis movie Kurt Russell from 1979, but there was an Elvis and Me movie already. So this is going to be I don't know if it's going to be considered a reboot or a redo. I have not seen the other one originally, so I mean, for me, it'll be new. But
yeah, same here.
I'm excited to see it because it's kind of like it's supposed to be called Priscilla, and so I'm very curious. But the only thing is, it's like, can we take somebody else that's Elvis? Because Austin just does such an amazing job.
Right.
Yes, he does.
Like, good luck to the next guy. But at the same time, it's very honoring to be in that role. I think to want to honor Elvis, and you can tell that's how big of a legend he is. How many movies and how years later they're still. Let's keep going. Let's keep making. Right. Let's talk legacy. So. And
also, it is because I'm looking at the audiobook, and that's where I saw it was seemed to be a major motion picture directed by Sophia Coppola.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just happened to read that earlier, and I thought, and then you kind of brought that up, and I thought, oh well, here, let me go ahead and just drop this bombshell from this book. Luckily, I mean, the good thing, like we don't own the book yet on Apple, but you can read a sample of it. You can read a sample of it, and that was what I did. I read, and it's right. Oh, obviously, it's right in the opening part of the book. I'm like, wow, okay. And but all right. Anyways, Kim, what are you doing?
I'm readjusting everything.
Why?
So nothing falls off my chair.
In this movie, though, to kind of keep going with Colonel Parker, but kind of segueing at the same time, some of the stuff was not 100% accurate. We know, hi, Isaac. We know, or I know, I'm assuming you guys know too, that, of course, the whole carnival thing, that yes, Colonel Parker was a carnival. He was carny beforehand. But when he met Elvis, it wasn't at a carnival. He actually met him through his former manager,
Neil,
and went across the street to a cafe to chit chat and stuff. And so I'm kind of like why I understand why they did it, because they were trying to give us a little bit more background on on the Colonel. But at the same time, I'm like, man, could you imagine have seen what that might have looked like at the cafe, like sitting down with Elvis, with former manager and now the next manager for the rest of his life, and Sam Phillips.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing you're bringing up doing research is I did notice that too, because I was like looking up, and because they showed Tom Parker pretty much being there the night of the hayride thing.
Yeah,
and he wasn't.
No, his original manager was named Neil.
Yeah,
And
right.
Neil saw in Elvis success for Parker. And
Right.
that's how Parker got him. I did the research on that because I thought, no, that doesn't look right.
Right. Right.
And don't worry. I mean, the one thing is so everybody knows when we get closer to when we get towards the end, we are going to have. I'm sure we all got a little bit of list of grievances if we don't touch on them at some point during this evening. If we do, we'll just make sure we point out, yeah, that was one of my grievances, or this is my grievance.
Yes.
Whatever. But I'm sure there's a little bit for everybody.
I know there is for me.
I think our biggest grievance is already been put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
in our faces.
it was mistitled. It should have been titled completely different because it gives off that point. Now, see, like I knew about Tom Parker. I knew about Tom Parker because I asked my mom about him. And she's like, he killed Elvis. He kept him drugged.
Well, I have to say, even though he didn't physically kill him, it was
Well,
he drained him of his finances, and like part of me really goes, okay, I'm gonna go back to $1 Million Quartet. Out of the four, the two of the biggers ended up being Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash.
Yes.
And there are friends that I've looked at him and said, I'd rather be Johnny Cash and had the Carter family surrounding me and my friends telling me no and getting me the help than what Elvis Presley went through. Because even in the movie, you can tell in the movie, they did not help him. They did not say no.
right.
He kept getting medical, all of his drugs and his medicines, they overdid it. I'm just, oh my gosh. And how did his manager not know? He knew, fucking him that much out. He knows that what's going on. And yes, they don't have the same amount of research as we do now. But even then, Johnny, again, the Carter family knew drugs was bad. And this was not going to help Johnny. Right. They came and went, nope, booyah, not happening. We're going to help you here. Versus Elvis, it's like they kept giving it to him. Even in the movies, we kept seeing him just being given more drugs and more medicine, insomnia stuff and this and that. And it's like, they didn't fudging help him.
Well,
I'm like, it's so sad. It is so sad that nobody really, I would love to see where in a book or something where somebody said no to him. No, you're not going to get this. This is bad. You need to get help.
Well, the thing is what's easier to control? A person who knows what the hell they're doing or someone that's drugged out of their mind.
Yeah, which is so sad.
So, I mean, in a way, I think Colonel Parker knew what he was doing, got the doctor there to make sure he was medicated when he needed him medicated, and then bring him partially out so he can perform. I mean, and we all know, every one of us have heard his later, especially getting the 70s. I mean, even in Aloha, you can hear the slurring, the points where it's, where you're like, oh my gosh, even a year and a half before, he was still spot on.
Yeah, he was.
And it gets to that point where it's like, unfortunately, I believe everyone's really afraid of Tom Parker.
And I don't know why. I want to give him a half a peace sign. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. I just, it aggravates me. So even in the movie, but maybe that was a good intention, is that I wanted to be aggravated, or you want to be aggravated with what was happening to Elvis, because it is so heartbreaking. And I always wondered, again, maybe now I do need to read the book about, called, Elvis and Me, because I would love to see it from Priscilla's perspective, what she was going through, or how did she feel about all the drugs and the, that was being given to him, or even the girlfriend that he had when he passed away. I would love her thought. One, I feel awful because I do believe she's the one who found him. Two, why did nobody say no? Why didn't anybody try? I just want to, can we just reverse the world? Can we go back into it? I'm still learning about Doctor Who, y'all, but if we can get back into the TARDIS and we can just go back in time, maybe I can marry him. Let's get him clean.
You're speaking about Ginger Alden, and
Ginger.
she actually did release a book in, let me find the year real quick.
I'm reading it.
2014, titled Elvis and Ginger. So yeah, I might probably have to get that one too, so I can read that one.
And note, he kind of looked like Priscilla.
Yeah.
I remember looking at pictures and going, striking resemblance.
Yeah.
But I'm but I am happy though that she accepted Elvis for who he, from what I know,
right,
what he had become, versus the man that originally Priscilla married. I mean, stark contrast, physicality and things like that, but it probably because of the drugs, medicines. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm happy they really touched on was his upbringing, Elvis's upbringing. Even though this is more from Tom Parker's point of view, they did bring up a lot of Elvis's upbringing. The fact that Vernon did go to jail. At that point, he learned a lot of his musical talent from African Americans, which is freaking awesome. It's what made Elvis who Elvis was.
Yeah, it was.
The gospel, all that gospel,
the gospel, and even the R&B back then. I mean, I to this day will listen to a lot of R&B, especially from back in the 40s and 50s, just because there's a lot of, there's a lot of R&B, even in the 80s, up through the 80s, but R&B kind of starts losing itself a little bit. Not really in the 90s, but in the 2000s it did.
Yeah.
I mean, because I can't say that because All for One's really good artists from the 90s.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, Cam, I know you'd say yes, they are. We've seen them live.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, I'm happy they touched on the backstory of Elvis, and a lot of the teasing he went through too. And they brought up him being shy.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about. But that he started out as a shy, or actually, I mean, it really kind of went on through his whole career. Because even when he came back, and eventually when they, even the '68 comeback, he was worried. Because by then he had started doing all the movies, and and I mean, unfortunately, the Colonel, and this one I do know because I've actually I've seen interviews with other people that were around Elvis at the time, that Elvis wanted to be like James Dean.
Yeah,
he wanted to be a serious actor, yet the Colonel is the one way. No, we need to do these. We need to keep your fans happy with all his musicals.
And I do wonder what it would have looked like if we would have seen Elvis in a more serious role.
Right. Yeah, I wonder too. I mean, I can honestly say I've only seen bits and pieces. I've never actually watched one of his movies fully. I've got him on TV. I'm a person, when I catch something on regular TV, the minute a commercial hits, even if it is Star Wars, I'm flipping channels.
Yeah,
I'm done. I don't like commercials. I hate them. So for me, I've got to find, and I notice like mostly like there's a bunch of them on Tubi. There's also a bunch of them on HBO Max. There's a bunch of them on Pluto and Prime's. Like, okay, well, we got a few covered here.
Yeah,
I'm sure Prime and Tubi will probably give me commercials because they're free without a subscription service.
Yeah.
And touching on what you had said about his childhood, which kind of brings us to some nerd stuff into our world now, and that is that Elvis, that they did show us that he was into
comic books,
the original Captain Marvel Jr.,
right,
who later known as Shazam. And of course they depict this by showing him with a lightning bolt, and that was a really nice nod to that. I thought, oh, that's so neat, because then they said, even later, like doing research again, he actually did his hair like Captain Marvel Jr. and also wore the capes and things, like, so you can tell that he had an inner nerd, and I love it. Right. I'm like,
Right. And I think this came up during Rogue One Radio last year at some point. Somebody, I think maybe you did or someone did, wondered if Elvis had ever seen the original Star Wars, A New Hope, before it was called A New Hope. And I remember I looked it up, and it never stated, nobody's ever stated whether he really has seen it, if he really did take Lisa Marie to see it. But he would go to the movie theaters late at night with Lisa Marie, in the middle of the night, and they would go see the current film. So there is a good possibility before he died, he did see Star Wars: A New Hope, which I'm assuming he probably did, because it is a science fiction movie. He was into, like, because he even they even brought it up a couple more times throughout the movie. After his childhood, where he still talked about it.
Yeah.
Going to the Rock of Eternia.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, just to bring that up a couple more times, I almost would. Well, for me, I'll say he went.
Well, May 25th, 1977, of course, is when, the original came out.
Right.
So it is a very small chance that, yes, he did. I mean, there is a chance.
Yeah.
Because, and you never know. It's possible. But I just, again, I liked the fact that they did show that. I'm glad that they showed us about Gladys, that heartbreaking scene of his mother passing away.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, my gosh. I'm glad that came from his perspective also in the movies. Wow.
The one thing I have found doing, because after I watched the movie and got everything ready to go for tonight, I did some searching, through Apple Books, trying to see like what was out there. And speaking of Gladys, I mean, this one photo, if I can remember where it was at, I wish I was just taking a picture of it, but I didn't. Anyways, that part where Vernon and Elvis was sitting on the steps of Graceland after she passed away.
Oh,
that really did happen.
Oh my gosh. My heart, my heart. That scene. Oh, I'm pretty sure we both had tears, my friend and I. Like, it just very beautiful. That was a lot. And of course that happened in real life, where he was across seas serving our country.
Yeah.
And of course that was all photographed. Thank you, Mr. Colonel. Not a real colonel, by the way, people. Aw.
Yep.
And then his mom really passed away, and he took leave, to come home to Graceland because hepatitis. Oh man, it's that's very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And another thing, I'm not sure if it really happened that way with him going to the reason why he went to the army. I mean, they really made it out to be, oh well, because they're trying to shut you down. They're we going to make you. I don't know. I've always heard that he joined on his own accord.
Right. Same.
And that he wasn't going to be a draft dodger or whatnot. He did it on his own accord.
And I think, like, for me, this is like the Broadway show Hamilton to me. You're not using these for your history test, people, because it's not 100% accurate.
Well,
no.
Speaking of,
it's pretty close, but it's not 100% because, like, this is the moment where it's in the gray.
Right.
And,
I could sidebar real quick on this, because we were supposed to do a show back in December with Brady Lovin and Nicole, but Brady never got back to me, so we didn't do it yet. Where we were going to talk about The Dirt, where I was going to blow the movie apart.
Yes.
With not only my knowledge, but also having the books and stuff from the actual book, the way it was written. And yes, Hollywood always, I mean, it's just like the part we were just talking about where, Colonel Tom met him at the fair, or first saw him at that hayride show, and he really wasn't there.
No.
So, everything is always embellished or added together to get to another part of the story.
Yes,
right.
But and it's like Nicole said, I mean, don't use movies as your history
No.
or plays or whatnot.
um, I really liked that they gave nod, a very special honorary nod to her name is Big Mama Thornton, the hound dog. But at the same time, she may have sang it first, but she still didn't write it.
Right.
And I kind of wish we would have had a little. I know the movie's already long, people, okay? But I wish there would have been somehow something included about the original songwriters, because the songwriters still created that song.
Right. Exactly.
And that would have been neat to have had them maybe included somehow. But I felt it was so over. I think that was wonderful that they included her, because it shows you that of who came before him and what he could take when he had a song in his hand and make it wonderful and amazing in a different way.
Are you headbanging the mic?
Sure.
That's what it sounded like.
In your head? You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah.
And I also, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I also love how they also included Little Richard.
Yes, Little Richard and B.B. King.
Yes, exactly. And I love that part where B.B. King's like, yeah, no, if I walk across the street, they're going to arrest me. But, dude, you're white. They're not going to arrest you.
And that's
pretty much. I mean, he didn't say dude. I added dude, but, but he's right. I mean, because obviously this is back in the, still heavily in this segregated South.
Yeah.
And
I think, go ahead.
Well, the other thing I was going to mention is when they went to do the show in Memphis, there at the baseball stadium, and Elvis got on the stage and did a little pinky thing. That actually happened in Florida.
Oh.
That was actually a court order from a judge in Florida said he can't move his hips, you can't do nothing. And so Elvis got up there and did his little, finger deal to premise being defiant. But at the same time, he still wasn't supposed to gyrate his hips in Memphis either.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Well, that was him. That was Elvis. That's what he was known for.
Yeah.
Was the gyrating hips. And it and it's like, really, people? Then you fast forward to 1985 and it's the same damn thing.
Well, you're talking about PMRC.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But with Hound Dog, though, with that scene, it's almost pretty accurate, because that really did happen. Yeah. But in reality, it was actually it was the host that wanted him to not gyrate his hips and to sing to the dog and wear the tux. That was Stephen Allen.
Yeah,
that was him. He wanted it. They didn't include it that way. They put it from a different perspective, but it was actually Steve Allen himself. When I was looking, and I was like, okay, so that's almost correct. It's like 98% correct.
Right. Steve Allen and Ed Sullivan both were against Elvis gyrating also. Yeah. And and you're right. It was actually, they showed it as the senator guy freaking out because he saw him on TV on Milton Berle, which he was on the Milton Berle show.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually the senator dude who really got involved. It was because of, the Steve Allen, because of the Milton Berle thing. Steve Allen said, "Oh, hell no." Yeah. Pretty much. You're not going to come on here and do this on my show. We have a family show. Same thing with Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
You're not going to gyrate your hips like that. And like, oh my gosh. I'm thinking, you get to worry about gyrating hips. Wait till we get to the 80s when we're saying fuck on the radio. I mean, in songs.
Yeah.
Just wait until the 2000s when they start twerking and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I love it. Like I said, this documentary, it must be, I think it's part of the DVD or the Blu-ray, the DVD Blu-ray package, where Austin was talking about how he felt like, when he was going through some of the scenes and stuff, especially when they were taking him down, he goes, I honestly feel like in a way, Elvis is also the start of punk rock. And
well, in an odd sense, I mean,
rebellion.
Right. He was very rebellious. And then he was taking music, gospel and rhythm and blues, this and that, and he was putting them together and singing it. I will take this. Let me be honest. He was singing, people. He plays guitar. He was singing. He did not write. Somehow, the king of rock and roll, he still put his own special spin still on everything, but he wasn't a writer. There's nothing to take away from him because, again, what he brought to the table was legendary.
Right. I mean, there's only a few songs that actually have him written down as a somewhat writer.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. I would almost have to hear from the original writer to find out.
Right.
Was it just because he added a few lyrics here or there, or
right.
what, or was he actually sitting there in the room with you writing?
Right.
I mean, regardless of, even if you're not a writer, I mean, and it's no big deal. I mean, you look at country besides Dolly, who is, especially you think from the 70s and 80s, is definitely on her own little island because of the fact that most of the artists, especially in the 80s, did not write their own material.
She did.
But Dolly did. So, for country, Dolly's kind of this oddball, which that's why most of us love her. She can write.
I don't want to forget about this because I showed this earlier in Show and Tell.
The Starborn.
You and we had in the movie, it was talked about. We talked about him being more of a serious actor, and he was originally one of the actors who was supposed to be in the newest adaptation of A Star Is Born. Instead, ended up going to Chris Christopherson, which, let's just be honest, oh my God, that was amazing. Like another chef's kiss. Who knew this one could be such a chef's kiss all over the place? It's just, but that is just, okay, I'm trying to figure out where I was going with that. But that was a really cool thing that they showed us. So that was a fun fact. I actually did not know that he was supposed to be out for that, to be in that movie. In fact, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, I got another Star Is Born, but with Elvis. Like, I was trying to figure out, would I like it? Would I not like it? And, oh, well, hey, Dad, I mentioned you several times. So now you're going to have to go back and rewatch from the beginning later. Everybody say hello to my dad in the chat.
Hi.
Yeah. Dad and Mom have already gotten several credits for music, so there's your another shout out.
But you're right about that, Nicole, because I mean, the thing is even my parents, I mean, especially my mom, was Elvis and then Beach Boys and Beatles, and that's where I got that love from. Plus she was Johnny Cash. I mean, so my dad was into CCR and Steppenwolf and stuff like that. So I told my mom one time, she's like, I just don't understand how you got into the hard rock in the 80s. I'm like, Dad liked Steppenwolf. They were closest thing to hard rock at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I was introduced to Bachman Turner Overdrive too by my uncle. So I was getting the taste of hard rock.
Right. But all of that stems from somewhere, right? It's all inspired from somewhere else. And even again, for Elvis, that was still coming from gospel and rhythm and blues and things like that. And then that beautiful music and sound was born, and then it still continued on. Now, our rock later on was way harder, you know what I mean, than Elvis's, but it still stemmed and inspired somebody else, or that sound inspired somebody else to write or create, and which is another beautiful thing, which I liked.
Right. And one thing and we're going to kind of get back into the movie when we get done with we're getting close to the 68 comeback.
Yes,
I was thinking that. I'm like, oh, we have to talk about 68.
Right.
I wasn't born then, but
So I wasn't either. I mean, I was born in 71. So I mean, geez. So there's that point where he's talking to these guys up on the hill behind the Hollywood sign. And where'd my phone go, Kim?
You took it.
Oh, I took it. My bad. Scott did it. anyways, I took a picture because I really didn't want it to be searching for this. But the actor, and I didn't take a picture of that yet, but we'll get to it. The actor that played Steve Binder, it was actually mentioned here. When approached by Elvis to work on his 68 special, Steve Binder says that he doesn't really work on Christmas specials. The year after Elvis died, Binder would direct, here we go, the Star Wars Holiday Special, often regarded as the worst Christmas special ever made.
And now we do Life Day because of it.
Right. But I like, when I read that, I'm like, oh, wow. Talk about, I mean, here we are. We're tying it back into all of our love of Star Wars.
And Stranger Things, because the actor who played him.
Yes. Plays Billy, starting in season 2 of Stranger Things, which unfortunately, this one's not seen season 2 yet because she's still stuck in season 1.
Oh,
I know.
So it's like,
you're gonna be watching. You're like, that guy's from Elvis.
That's what happened with me. I'm like, I'm watching this morning. I'm like, and I'm watching. And so I'm looking at it more. I'm just waiting. I'm like, pause. Right on his face. I'm like, no way. That's Billy. That looks like Billy. So of course I heard look it up. I'm like, yep, that's Billy.
That's Billy.
But yeah, that was pretty cool though. I mean, but yes, the 68 comeback. So Colonel Tom Parker wanted that to be a Christmas special.
Now, I'm just very curious because I don't think that was completely accurate. If I might be wrong. So for everyone who's just joining us, thank you again for joining us. But there's a fun stuff planning for music and stuff. So I'm sure we will be re-talking about this one again. So we can update it on accuracy. Because I am very curious if that was completely accurate. Because, okay, I know that they wanted to put him in this pretty innocent light, but let's be honest, when Elvis was in his leather outfit,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, Dad. He's gone anyways, but it makes me kind of, that was probably who he really was. Let's just be honest. I feel like that's who he really was. Not, even with the jumpsuits and stuff later and stuff, but part of me goes, what was really him, what was not? It's kind of like him in the tuxedo with a hound dog, right? That wasn't him. That was him putting on a mask and playing a part and just doing his thing. But that's why I was really curious with the 68 comeback special in the movie. Like, if it was portrayed accurately, two, I don't know. I'm not sure. I know that it happened. We all know the 68 special happened, but we know that he sings Blue Christmas. Oh my gosh, which I love. Blue Christmas is one of my, this year it was my song for Christmas. I think next time we have to do a Blue Christmas to Elvis.
I learned this.
But I just, it's something maybe for us to research and we can come back to it, because
I just think I just came up with the biggest easy research project ever on this one. Steve Binder.
Okay.
What about it?
Wrote a book. Elvis, the 68 comeback.
I have so much.
I just ordered the hardcover off of Amazon.
He's worse than I am. I'm waiting until after the show.
Signed, still delivered.
I thought I was dead. My reading list is getting longer and longer.
I know, right?
You just
I know between I'm slowly making my way through Ingrid Croce's book. And when I do finish that, I want to do an episode on Jim Croce because he is one of my favorite artists.
Jim Croce.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad would know. My dad knows I love Jim Croce, and he was, of course, My dad was the one who him and my mom both listened. But my dad and I remember we would take trips and stuff. Like Jim Croce, Humble Pie, plus ACDC.
And by the way, hey, Snooch.
Yeah,
I thought you said hi, Don.
Anyways, but that was part of our music and stuff. But oh my god, list is no longer.
We'll learn more about these 68. Maybe we might even just do a full episode on it.
We talked about doing. You said something about doing a fourth one. This is where this part will probably come back in.
Right, because of the fact that we could do one just on the concerts, because like there is the 68 comeback, there's the Aloha, and then there's the one I sent you earlier today, which was released in 2019, 11 CD, but luckily we got it's on Spotify and also on Apple.
Oh, his Vegas residency.
But it's like 11 shows from the International in 1969, which they also do.
They also touch on the movie. Yep.
Also.
Was he the first one that started the whole Las Vegas people going to Las Vegas and staying in Vegas for up teen amount of years? Is he the first one that did that?
Let's find out.
I was wondering that because I tried to look for something on that because I was curious and I couldn't find it.
Right, because we know Celine Dion's done it now. Different people do it every couple of years. It seems like there's a new act that's in Las Vegas performing in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious. Again, it's just one of the rare things I have yet to figure out in my research. Yeah. Wow. Elvis is just something. I'm just and what a movie. Because again, it was so good.
No way.
What is no way?
Yeah.
I want to know that.
The concept of concert residency was established by pianist and singer Liberace with a 1944 debut in Vegas.
Liberace?
Oh.
I thought it was Elvis.
Yeah, right. That's really cool.
I thought it was the king of rock and roll. I'm sorry. It was the king. No, I don't know. I can't say he's the king of the pianos because it's like Billy Joel, Elton John.
Yeah, but they're all after him.
This is true.
But
it's true.
But I mean, we give the king of rock and roll to Elvis, the king of pop goes to Michael. And really, have you noticed we have never given the king of guitar, the king of, like you said, piano, the king of drums, the king of bass guitar.
It'd be hard to pick just one though. Right now, I think. Sing.
I could agree with that because I know while I could say, well, Eddie Van Halen, could easily be there, but then again, I could also say so could John 5.
Yeah.
And there's and then bass players, there's Flea, but there's guys before. And
there's a lot of good drummers out there.
But it's funny, we don't do the king of country.
No.
It's the queen. We got Queens.
Well, and that's even debatable too, because it's like we got Dolly, we got Reba, we got Kitty Wells, we got Loretta Lynn. The Pioneers alone. And technically the first family country is still the Carters.
Right.
Nobody usually argues with that one. But it's interesting because when you start talking about Johnny Cash, not all the time will you hear about the Carter family unless you're talking about Jimmy. And then you have to go, well, no. He married into the original family.
Yeah. George Strait.
Yeah. See, Dad, you missed what he had at the beginning of the show. You'll have to go back and rewatch because there's another country artist, Scott, shows and shows.
Oh, yeah. You can't see him really well from here. But there's stuff right over there. Well, we gotta do that artist too.
Yes, we do.
Multiple entertainer of the years.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do gotta touch on that artist.
Because we got it because that is one of the reasons why one of his songs is one song I try to live by.
Yes.
Yeah. So this conversation is reminding me though of something from Walk the Line that I'm not sure if I fully saw in Elvis. So in Walk the Line, we do see Elvis. Okay.
Right.
You know, with the behind the scenes, just for a quick second, with the chili fries, which was kind of dumb at the same time because it was like, come on, I think there was way more than what we're seeing of Elvis and Johnny Cash. There's way
Right.
more that was not shown, both in either movies. And I was like, oh, are we going to see? I don't think we saw Johnny Cash in this one, even though he definitely played a part because of the touring. Or Jerry Lee Lewis, or, you know, oh my gosh. I'm like, can they just do $1 million quartet movie now, please? Because that
Well,
would be wonderful. Because see, that's another thing I would like to see. More of that one night right before Colonel Parker took over. Because that happened right before that. And that magical, amazing night. That includes, yes, we have to see who Elvis Presley's girlfriend was. You know, he might have seen Priscilla at that. No, he was not seeing Priscilla at that point. No, he would not have been. That's right, because that she came afterwards, right? She came later.
She came while he was in the army stationed in Germany.
So this was before the army.
Right.
So I would love to have $1 million quartet movie.
Well, let me throw this out to y'all because I saw this in, like I said, I watched the Mafia Memphis Kids or Memphis Mafia Kid video, and one of the comments in there said, why can't they do Elvis properly and tell all the side stories, but do it in a very long series?
They've already done a miniseries.
I mean, like a big TV show, you know, like set up for like 10 years. Sign actors and actresses on for 10 years.
10 seasons long.
Yeah, but Elvis, I mean, with Elvis and everything about Elvis, you could do it.
It's possible.
Because then you can focus on stuff like the $1 Million Quartet.
Yeah.
You know, you can focus on different, because like one thing you bring up, Walk the Line. And the one thing I found ironic was, you know, in this movie, they show when the band members giving him a pill, which in Walk the Line, I think Johnny Cash gives him, or no, it's Elvis that gives Johnny Cash a pill.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, what the hell? You know, and
right. And it's, well, and I was watching because currently, I think it's Tubi or Pluto. One of the two currently has a thing on there about Johnny and Elvis. And I don't know if they actually liked each other or they just tolerated each other because they made fun of each other on stage. You know what I mean? Like, Johnny would mess up his hair and I'm going to be,
right.
you know, Elvis, you know, and so I don't know if it was actually fun teasing or if it was, I'm tolerating you and we're from, they weren't like where I'm like, I'm a little bit of country and a little rock and roll with everything else mixed in between. So, well, and here's the other thing we know. Okay. So it is said that Elvis had son June Carter some love letters, and I can't remember what interview I'd seen, and they misfunningly, jokingly said, yeah, and Johnny went out and put them in the middle of the lake. You know what I mean? Threw them over. All those love letters couldn't stay in the house. Like it's and it's so interesting because they both have gospel in their soul. See, this is also the other thing. See, where Johnny has that country, that's where Elvis had that rhythm and blues. And they both lost brothers.
Yeah.
They both lost family members. So they both know what that's like. They both were in the military.
Yeah.
Man. They're both so excellent.
Right. I mean, obviously, if this, obviously, again, we know this movie is portrayed from Colonel Parker's vision.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. It's all
we
good.
All real.
I know. But and the thing is Colonel Parker, you know, obviously he was, again, we will touch on the 68 comeback later for sure. I mean, like we've mentioned, we are going to do music in March, and then we're going to also touch on his movies. and then probably do a fourth one where we do talk about concerts.
Yes.
I mean, Elvis Presley, King of Rock and Roll, definitely deserves at least 4 episodes.
Exactly.
And really it probably could even be more than that, because I mean, knowing Kim over here, she'll be like, oh, let's do some of his movies. I'll buy them lonesome.
I will agree. I've seen 1 or 2 of them.
God.
But
And then I'll be going, are you lonesome tonight? Because you're doing it by yourself.
No, you won't. You can call me, Kim. I'll do it with you.
okay.
Scott's like, oh,
I'm good. No, I mean, I can't. Again, because I always say this, you can't knock it until you try, or you can't knock something until you see it. I've only seen bits and pieces of his movies. I've never actually sat down and watched a full flick of Elvis.
I might be a little jealous though of Sophia Loren, but we can talk about that when we get to his movies.
Yes.
I'm glad I can tell by Kim's voice that she's in the same boat as I am.
But yeah, so from here, we could obviously, in this point, is where Robert Kennedy. Okay, so let's explain this real quick. So the 68 comeback was actually being shot for a Christmas release or December release on NBC. But they were shooting it around, I think, July.
You said July, yes.
I think it was around July, which somewhere in there about the same time, close to when Robert Kennedy was killed. And that's when
that is the part that is inaccurate. I knew that. And that is that in the movie it's portrayed at the same time, but yet it's definitely done separately. Time-wise, correct.
Right. I mean, the thing is your Christmas specials are usually filmed. Well, I mean, nowadays they're probably not filmed that far in advance.
Right.
Holy crap. All right, it's July. That's like it's Christmas. No.
It's Christmas in July, Scott.
Yeah, some people say that. But yeah, I mean, for one. Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
You were talking about
my train just derailed.
Well, let's get it back on the rails. You're talking about Robert Kennedy's assassination. I think you're going into the song that he wrote.
Well, he didn't write it.
No, but
somebody else wrote it.
Somebody else wrote it, but the song that he performed.
Actually, I wanted to look that up. That's what I meant to look up earlier.
So, because I told you that I listened to that as well and noticed it had like a deeper meaning to it.
Yeah, the song. Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I can't remember the song's name.
Well, and again, because that movie is done. Okay, this part of the movie, it's like they're going from that, and then they add the Robert Kennedy assassination, and So I don't know. Sometimes maybe that's why it got a little bit confusing, because it's like it didn't really happen in real life chronologically like that, and at the same time, even in the movie, it's a little jumbled. You know what I mean? Like, in a sense.
Yeah, and I kind of wondered that, because they also touched on the Martin Luther King assassination too in the movie.
And of course, both of those things are going to impact not only impacted our country, but of course that impacted his life. Like for him, I live in Memphis, and he knew it. He wasn't that far from where it was. And that's sad. I mean, I can only.
If I Can Dream, Kim.
He really was.
The name of the song is If I Can Dream.
Okay. Kim. If I Can Dream. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I like that one, but I just, it's just that when they sang it and they were supposed to be filming the Christmas show, just didn't fit with me. It didn't fit right where it was in the movie at all.
Well, especially because if it's not accurate and that's not what really happened, it's like, why did you do that? Because it kind of added a little.
They could have done it just to cut some time there. I can go back to like Motley Crue, The Dirt, and say, showing Skylar being a toddler or a newborn or a newborn during theater pain when she wasn't when Vince and Sharice weren't even married until after Girls Goes Girls. We're talking 85 to 87, and then Skylar wasn't born until like 89 or 90. So she was like 80. So I mean, it's one of those things where they take spots and they just kind of cram it all together because again, they're not after accuracy at this point. They're after to get as much in as they can to get this portrayed. I mean, I'm sure if I went back and looked at Bohemian Rhapsody and looked at the real events, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff there that's been crammed together to make the movie. So
Gotcha.
you really, I mean, it's like you said earlier, Nicole, talking about Hamilton, you really can't use these as history pieces, to pass the test.
Actually, on your Constitution test, don't use the it's that founding father.
I mean, and same thing can be said like with, I mean, sure, go ahead, watch Dances with Wolves. I guarantee you're not going to ace a Civil War test.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Or even, I mean, the movie that came out when I had to watch in 5th grade because it was a TV movie called The Blue and the Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually got it on DVD somewhere.
Yeah, I know we do.
But, it's just one of those things where, there's always inaccuracies in all portrayal, especially on TV, because one, they try to make something flashy or different, make it better, or just cram it together so they can get a couple things taken care of, in these things. So a lot of times, like the accuracy part, you kind of get this guy think like, okay, well, it's not there quite right there. At least for me, at least we're still in the same year. At least, the 68 comeback special being filmed with Robert Kennedy dying. I'm fine with that. And that's why I, make that comment back to the Motley Crue's The Dirt movie, where it's like we're years apart here. And but then again, the problem is it's kind of like I said, Memphis Mafia Kid brought up in his one video was, well, they didn't show Elvis being generous. He was very generous, and his wife actually said, but maybe in the Colonel's eyes, his generosity was splurging his money.
See, and that's really what got me too. That was another grievance that I had with it, is because I had done a little bit of digging on him, on Elvis. And yeah, he was generous to a lot of people. If they needed help and he could help, he would help. But then they said that then in the movie, Parker said, well, it's because he's spending money. It's like, oh my God.
Well, and speaking about spending money, not really spending money, but making money, because we talked about this earlier, and that is with Colonel Parker, that he was really big into merchandising Elvis Presley, and that's real. Those buttons are out there. I don't want to own one ever. Don't get it for me for Christmas. I don't want an Elvis sucks button. I want my I love Elvis Presley buttons.
He was smart to do it.
Really big into. I get it that is coming from him as his Carney days. He was bringing all that experience that he had learned. He knew how to advertise him. He was ahead of the game and knew, stuff that was coming and still is. People are still learning about is merchandising, and he knew I can do it on both sides. You know what I mean? But that's because he just wanted to make money off of Elvis. Did he truly care about Elvis? Nah, maybe a little bit, just enough to make money off of him.
Exactly.
Came first.
Yeah, because it was all. Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim. Let him have it. He's not here anyways.
It's just that he knew it was his meal ticket, and he just did it for what he wanted it for. He didn't care one iota for his feelings, didn't care one iota for him wanting to expand his career internationally. All he wanted was money, money, money. And he knew that if he kept Elvis working at what he assigned him and kept giving him excuses, he would always have that money train come in. And it just Uh,
I know. And we know that before he had Elvis, he had managed others,
Yeah.
and he decently. But it's like with Elvis, he just saw a cash cow and milked all day and made the cow thin, technically thin in my brain, but not really because with the medicine, obviously, poor
Right.
Elvis blew up. Poor Elvis.
Yeah.
He didn't. I needed to bend in his life so I could tell him no. Can't do it now.
All right, so real quick, you want to talk about him being a promoter, right? I'm back to the Elvis and Me book. There's a part here where she talks about her remembering her last phone conversation with Elvis, and it was just days before his mood had been good as he talked about the 12-day tour he was about to begin. He even laughed when he told me that, as usual, the Colonel had papered the first city they were scheduled to hit with his posters that his records were being played constantly in advance of his arrival. And I quote, "Good old Colonel," Elvis had said. "We've come a long way. He's still putting out that same old stuff. It's a wonder people are still buying it," end quote.
Yeah.
But that's because the Colonel knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew that merchandise sold. He knew the music. Well, it's also very important to do music to, to promote yourself.
Right.
So, but at the same time, he was doing it unfairly. You know what I mean? Like if he would have been, I have a cat.
You're fine.
My cat was just like right here. Like y'all probably couldn't see her. He was like right here. And she just like moved everything. So what I was saying though is that I think while yes, he was smart and wise, business wise, it's just that he did it unethically and not in good business.
Right. We got planes flying over.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe it's the Lisa Marie.
I wish. Unfortunately, it's the Marine Corps jets.
Anyway, I like what Kenny said here. Yep, it was all about the money, and originally Elvis didn't want to do movies at all. So
now we're getting into 1969 International Hotel. Wow, that's really.
I wonder something.
What?
They are under attack. No. I know that they're performing an air show this year. I wonder if they're making sure the planes are.
No, they got to fly so many hours every month.
I know, but
they got to do so many daylight maneuvers. They got to do so many nighttime maneuvers.
Well,
that's
I know
why sometimes we are getting woke up at 2:00 in the morning with jets flying over our home.
Okay. Well, I know that on the bulletin board as we were going out for Christmas dinner, I saw that they were doing an air show this year.
Nice.
Wait, we're going out Christmas dinner. That was last year.
Yeah, last year. Well, they're doing an air show. Last year going to Christmas dinner, they were doing an air show in March of this year.
March.
I think it's around
This is only January. We're not even close to March yet.
Well,
we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
It's slingshots. Okay. February is a slingshot. It's just January, March.
Yeah, right. All right. So we get to International Hotel.
Yes.
And the reason why Elvis is being there, according to the movie, is because Colonel Parker has some gambling debts. Uh-oh. I see this look.
I know. I'm like, the man made me mad.
So at this point, everyone's trying to get Elvis to get away from Colonel Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And actually do a world tour.
Yeah.
Tour the world. Go to Japan, Europe, Germany, all over the place where he hasn't been.
Yeah.
Besides what he did in the army.
But this part exposes what could have also been a reasoning why Colonel Parker didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he talks Elvis into going do this shows in 1969. And the first show hits, and all of a sudden, while he's going through announcing, saying,
The VIPs.
well, Lisa Marie Priscilla, and then he goes to Colonel Parker. Colonel Parker's working a backwater deal.
Yeah.
Literally a backwoods deal where he puts down pretty much $1 million a year to sign Elvis for 5 years at the International for $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim.
Go ahead.
Kim wants to smack him.
I know, right?
Not Scott, but Colonel Parker, who is still right now. He's
The
already.
problem is I'm the one closest to her to get smacked, so I'm afraid I might get smacked just because.
No, go ahead.
So, but what is not shown right away is that they will clear, or Colonel Parker says, well, that's what my boy gets. What do I get?
Oh, you get your gambling debts cleared. Oh.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Kim.
Do we want her to? This is right. This is why I now had the to rant or not to rant promo or splash page pop up real quick.
It just irritates me because he is using Elvis to pay off what he ran up because he has the gambling problem. And it
irks her, people.
Hold it. I don't know which button it was. Where is it? I gotta do this for her because you know what? She just did something. I was shocked she did. She did not cuss one bit. So Kim, this is for you.
He is just such an evil person.
He's a weasel.
An evil weasel.
He's an evil weasel. So the good parts about this is Elvis getting a chance to try new things.
Yes.
Brings in, the band, the bigger band behind him, the sweet inspirations. Brings in, I can't remember the guy group was called.
I can't either. But
he brings them in to also back him up, and he's working out. And that's the one thing also that really wasn't portrayed. I don't think it's really been portrayed in a lot of Elvis movies, but his ability to arrange things in a song to get it to really sound
really good,
awesome.
Yeah,
he knew how to arrange.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's doing all these different arrangements and changing things up, changing the way the old songs sound.
Yep.
And I mean, and we can attest to this because we did listen to disc 1.
Yes, we did.
Of the international one, and it was like the midnight showing of it. And I know, like, Stuck On To You was completely different than what I remember.
It was
the original. I'm like, whoa, hey, I like this.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. And I know we can go into this. We really should do an episode about this eventually sometime this year. But this is where you can't do. You could do it today, but the problem is you're going to have to make sure all your backing tracks are set up for it. Because there's no live artists anymore. I mean, they're all million pretty much on stage nowadays.
Exactly.
They've all got extra guitar sounds or extra drum sounds or extra this or extra, and like,
yeah, exactly.
And then the exorbitant prices they're charging now is like, yeah, I don't even want to go to a concert anymore.
I know, I don't either.
But
Elvis, Las Vegas, gambling debts.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Regency. We talked about residency.
Yes.
Yep.
And yes, so Colonel's got to pretty much come up with a way to make Elvis be there for 5 years. It's not to really stay there for the whole time for 5 years. It's
just come back every
once
year.
a year. Come back once a year for a run of so many shows.
Yeah.
But same time, Elvis still wants to tour the world.
Yeah. And the Colonel's got his leash wrapped around him.
And how do you do that?
He said that there was not enough security. And he got his leash and his claws right into Elvis and held him back.
Right. And one thing I'll have to really look into is me, and I didn't for this, but we will look into it. Is was Elvis really attacked one night on stage?
Yeah.
During
because we know, well, from what I know, Colonel Parker, of course, not really a colonel, was given the nickname. He's Dutch, and he came here. He could have become legal. No, he could have become legal, and he did what was supposed to be done of him, but he just didn't finish. It's like, dude, why go that far if you're not just gonna finish? Duh, you're that close. Why not? Anyways, especially because it had to deal with him, you know, being in the army and stuff. Hello, like, why not? Colonel is just very annoying. You know, I guess this is the best way I could say it. Kind of.
Definitely annoying.
Definitely annoying.
And Tom Hanks did a really good job. I mean, wow.
He did. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about him portraying him, but
yeah.
But again, because I didn't know much about the real man,
right? And
then I quickly learned. I mean, again, sitting next to my friend and coworker, I knew how that went because it's almost identical to Kim's right now. Yeah.
So we get through. So he does a bunch of tours throughout America.
Yes.
Pretty much just tours North America, pretty much America, USA.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
Yeah, that's all he does.
And then does all these residencies and gets to the fourth one. Pretty much blows up on Colonel Tom. I mean, not just on him. I mean, he blows. Well, before that, he passes out, isn't it? This is where he kind of passes out.
Is this the incident on the stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so hold up. That is all fiction. Because Elvis Presley really did blow up at somebody on stage. And it was the hotel guy, Hilton, because he had fired one of Elvis Presley's favorite employees while his, I think it was a gentleman, his wife had cancer. And Elvis was like, in real life, he really actually got upset on stage at the guy the Hilton guy for firing somebody whose wife had cancer for whatever reason. I can't remember, but I did see something about that. I was reading about it. I was like, oh, that what really happened? So this had nothing to do with the Colonel. The Colonel actually is off scotch-free at this particular moment. It's really because he was, yeah.
Okay.
Hilton. That neat. See, this is the same part you were mentioning, Kim, that, you know, Elvis Presley was really generous. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that he would get upset that somebody would fire somebody for over something having to do with somebody having cancer, or if they had to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever. Like,
exactly. Yeah. But also depicted in the movie at this point, they show a spot where he passes out in the backstage area.
Oh,
they push his face in water. The Colonel comes out. Here comes Vernon, and one lady saying you got to get him to the hospital, and then Colonel turns back and says, well, "This is a Presley estate." And pretty much Vernon says,
"I feel ya."
Pretty much Vernon says to the doctor, or tells the Colonel to have the doctor fix him.
At that point, I don't know why he did not stand up to him. I don't understand why his father could not stand up to him.
Well, again, okay. So first of all, I'm gonna go back to what I've kind of got from stuff is, you know, is from the Colonel's point of view. So in his point of view, these guys might have been weak. We don't. I mean, first of all, I don't even know. I mean, I know he had a few instances backstage, but I don't recall ever hearing a story where he was given a shot and went out on stage.
No.
So, I mean, again, this is going to be, these are going to be stories that are hopefully going to be answered as we go deeper into, when we get into all the different ones that we're going to do. Because, like I said, I know somewhere back there, I've got magazines and stuff on Elvis.
Yeah, I know.
That I've bought in over the years. And so I want to have those ready to, I couldn't get to them today for this, because this was a last minute decision on changing the show for this week, and the main thing is because we were supposed to do Wednesday episodes 5 through 8, but we, as a collective group, decided we were going to wait for Kelly, our Luna girl. She's busy right now with Alex, and again, Luna girl, you guys are you, Alex, and DB are all in our prayers, in our thoughts and prayers, and family always comes first. We will touch Wednesday 5 through 8 when the time is right. When Luna girl's ready to go, we will go.
Yeah,
but so again, this is gonna be something that's gonna really have to be dug in deeper.
Yeah,
and which I plan on doing. I'm pretty sure we all will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna want to dig deep on these.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because that other part where he supposedly, I don't know if he ever fired the colonel or not.
Okay, so I think he did fire the colonel, but not the way it was portrayed.
Yeah,
right, because they were showing him
because of the money situation. Because the colonel was trying to go, but no, money. This is how you know he was a pig. Okay.
Right, well, I mean,
because, no disrespect to the real animal, but Colonel he was like a money hungry, like. I'm with Kim. I wish Vernon would have stood up to him. I wish he would have said, "This is not worth it. Get that out of here." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, come on, go talk to the Carter family. Go get those. Come on, go clean them. Let's go, because let's stand up to this guy, because he's.
I can't believe I forgot this.
Well, and we haven't even gotten to the end of his life yet. Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
I forgot about this part. But back at the hayride thing, the concert, right? The first concert where he starts shaking the hips, the girls start screaming, and he goes back to the band. What are they screaming about? Obviously, we're rewinding it back in the movie. So, as you guys know, we do this every once in a while. And all of a sudden, they go to Gladys. She's like, "My poor, don't hurt my baby," because they're ripping his clothes off. And Vernon goes, "No, they're not going to hurt him. They want to," and then cut. I'm like, yeah, I know what you all wanted to put there.
Wow, I think that's more for Scare After Dark, Scott.
Right. Scare After Dark. You want some Scare After Dark merch? The public is open.
Bro, After Dark, okay?
But yeah, I was like, whoa, okay. So in a way, that was like, would Vernon really have said something like that back in that era? Or was that, like we were talking about earlier, adding language or close to language of today?
Right.
And but anyway, so we're to the point where we're to the colonel being fired, and now he's making this list of things that Elvis owes him for since 1955. Hey, isn't that ironic? All this rolls around 1955.
Yeah.
He really, Colonel was a horrible businessman. He was a smart, savvy businessman. I will give him all credit for the merchandising, for what he did. Yes. But in the end, the ethics part is where it got him.
Oh, man.
The morals and the values, and thinking he can just take advantage of Elvis Presley. And technically, in the long run, when he took advantage of Elvis, he's really also taking away from Priscilla and then Lisa Marie, because she is more legally, that is the only living child of his. So yeah, that really affects even down the line, like advantage, or he did take it.
I agree. And so he gives Vernon an $8 million bill, and Elvis is ready to leave. Finally, his dad's not there, so he goes upstairs to find what's going on, and that's when he sees $8 million bill, and Elvis kind of goes a little. He's ready to. I was really hoping. I mean,
I
again,
want him to take and use his judo or karate moves on him. I want
exactly.
karate chops.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, eventually, as we know, Elvis stays with the Colonel.
Yeah. Quick,
And
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say very quickly because we haven't really touched on it yet. What did you guys think of I know we talked about Priscilla earlier about her own movie and stuff like that, but what did you guys think about the Priscilla in this movie? And at this point, we know at some point during all this also, she, of course, her and Elvis divorce,
Right.
even though they have a child. And
I
part of me, my other question though is to you guys, if things were different with the Colonel, do you think things would have been differently between Priscilla and Elvis?
well, yeah. Well, I mean, if she was, I mean, if she was truthful, if they what they wrote for her in the movie was truthful about her not caring about the mistresses. I mean, she did say that I don't care about the women. All she cared about was the drugs, which I'm kind of like,
well, I'm already cringing on that because I
right.
cringe because I think the only reason why she might have been okay with the mistress is because she knew what she was doing behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was getting a little scariff after dark back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
So, as far as portrayal by the actress, I think she, I mean, the makeup, obviously, makeup, hair, they nailed it. That was definitely Priscilla from back then, and I think personally, I think they got her really good.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest, like I said, is I don't know. I mean, I think that she was too. I mean, obviously, and this is not because of the era I grew up in, but she was definitely too young to be a bride.
Right.
I mean,
like things were different back then. It's like Loretta Lynn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they stayed together. That was different.
Right. Well, I mean, it depends on both parties too. I mean, Elvis was definitely not Elvis when Priscilla pretty much left him.
No.
Wasn't the man she fell in love with, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I get that and I understand that.
And I think, I mean, and I think it's part of the reason why I want to read this Priscilla, Elvis and Me book, because I really wanted to see what was there. Did maybe the writers actually use part of her book there to bring Priscilla out into, because I mean, I can go back and I can look at pictures and stuff that I see of Elvis from different points. And I mean, they hit a lot of the family pictures perfect. The parts where he's spinning records with Priscilla, when he's visiting her in Germany. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff where it's right on the money. It's like, okay, well, they got, but again, you get pictures, you can easily recreate the scenes. But as far as the actress goes, I think I thought she did a really good job at it.
Yeah.
It was a long way to get there. I'm sorry.
Okay. I did too. I like the way that she did portray the Priscilla role. So
yeah, it was played by Olivia DeGeorge.
Cool.
She's an Australian actress, and I thought she did great.
She did.
But I thought they did a really good job together. I thought the chemistry also was really good between Austin and Olivia for portraying Elvis and Priscilla too. I thought the chemistry was really good. Thought they did good casting, really.
And so, since you brought up that she is Australian, this was shot in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Every set was built.
Oh, okay.
They built Beale Street. They built Graceland. They built everything over there. And Austin even talked about it walking into Graceland for the first time, even though it was the set. Because he went to real Graceland. He did study Elvis
about that. That was cool.
And he's like, it was like walking into the real Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, when you even walk into his bedroom where, most people didn't see that, you're just like, whoa, and I appreciate that. One, that the filmmakers make sure they nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it is a famous place. I mean, one, you can go visit it.
Yes, you can.
That is a bucket list item for me.
Oh,
Me
it
too.
has been.
On my bucket list. I want to go.
It
Great
has been. Yeah, it has been for me too.
I mean, that's one place.
I have been to Elvis's birthplace though, in Tupelo, Mississippi, with my parents. And that was really neat. But I would love to go to Graceland.
Right.
Love it.
Exactly. And I would definitely. I mean, if you're going to do it during like Elvis Presley days.
Thank you. I'll meet you guys there.
All right.
We'll do a podcast from there.
Here we go. Right. We'll be live from Graceland. But yeah, no, I mean, hitting everything, at least a lot of the historical parts that we do know.
Yeah.
Hitting those perfect to a point.
To a point, yeah.
Obviously, you can't hit everything because otherwise, I mean, we're almost 3, it's like 2 hours, 38 minutes, 40 in there. You're almost at 3 hours.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, sitting at home is a great thing, but sitting in a theater for 3 freaking hours.
I don't know. I sat in the theater for 4 hours.
The hell did you watch?
I went and seen Titanic in the theater. And
I'm sorry.
There was an intermission between part 1 and part 2.
I feel sorry for you having to go see that in the theater.
That was
summertime.
I wouldn't even go to a Star Wars movie that was 4 hours. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, back to Elvis.
Elvis. Because now because speaking of 2.5 hours.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get to you.
We're
I know we're
there. So
we're the permits there. So they did a really good job on the makeup.
Yes.
With Austin.
They did.
Getting him to the end.
Oh my God. Yes.
And the one thing I noticed as I was watching the ending with Unchained Melody. First of all, again, awesome song, great song by the Righteous Brothers. And then Elvis's version is just as great. Mm-hmm. And as he's, as Austin's sitting there playing the piano and going through this, all of a sudden I catch a spot. All of a sudden, like, that's Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Austin.
No.
That is the king.
Yeah.
And I found myself tearing up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting them to do that.
I wasn't either.
And for them to do that, I think for me is a good, a awesome homage to the king.
King, yeah. Well, and then also too, I don't know if I was seeing this part right, but I seen the Elvis part, but I also seen that as the movie ended, they kind of fit in actual footage of him and his funeral.
Oh, yes.
Actual footage of it, and actual footage of people going to Graceland to put the flowers to, I thought that was just awesome the way they did that, because not only did you hear Unchained Melody in the background being sung, but you also seen the pictures of his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that that whole ending, it was just really touching, is what it was.
I was going to be 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have turned 6 in September of 1977.
Yeah.
So I was 5 years old in August when he passed away.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you is, do you remember your family talking about it or making a, because again, my friend, she remembers where she was.
Right.
When she was able to tell me, I was on this road, this is where it was. And I'm like, that is the equal to, like, for me is the Columbine or the World Trade Center, 9/11 and stuff. And
Right.
it was just like clear as day.
Like
Of
my
course,
first.
she had just seen him in, his last concert in Chicago. Not maybe his last concert in general, but his last concert that he had done in Chicago. She was there. So it's just,
Right.
again, she gets she always gets brownie points for that. I'm like, dude, you're a whole new type of cool that I can't even describe. That's right.
Yeah, no, that was like because that's what I want to do for like the movies and the music part of it. I actually was telling Kim this. I'm actually going to reach out to my mom. I'm going to, hook up my phone through to the mixer and record a few questions I want to ask her about not only his music and stuff, but also what she remembers of his death.
Yeah.
And my biggest question to her is like in 1980, May 18th, 1980, when Mount St. Helens blew, she was making sure she was saving every newspaper article I had that for me to have to make a scrapbook, which I've never had, I still have all the papers. But the fact that she did that, like, I want to know why we didn't do that for Elvis.
Yeah.
Why she didn't do that for Elvis? Why wasn't Elvis kept?
Yeah.
I mean, she did it back in '63 for JFK.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff, or she'll give me that stuff, eventually when she gets ready to pass on. When she passes on, I will get that stuff.
I'm hitting real wood right now because I got to.
Oh yeah, right. But yeah, but that's the one thing I want to do. Like even with your mom, I want to talk to him, and and Nicole. I mean, we want to do something like that where you can reach out and record. It'd be great to add on. Obviously we were young people.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, I was 6 when he passed away.
I may not have even been born yet.
Okay. And Kim was
but
like,
okay, like the legacy was passed on.
Right. So I mean, I would love to include those into especially around his like what are your favorite songs and maybe whatnot, and then get to what do you remember of that day. I mean, everybody talks about the day the music died, and that's when Valens, Buddy Holly, and Big Bopper and all them died. But in a way, music died that day too.
Yes. Sorry, I have to shout out
Care Bear.
Hello.
He's like, what's going on? You guys are still on.
Yeah, we're still on.
It's hard because it's like we love Elvis, and it's just
right. And this is why this is going to be at least
4 parts.
4 parts, because otherwise
we're creating as we go right now, people.
Right.
Thank you for the inspiration.
God, I mean, can you imagine if we just said, okay, well, no, we're going to save it for March, and
I'm so glad that we did that. You guys did it.
Yeah, same here.
Great idea came from this.
Anyways, Nicole, what was your thoughts about the ending?
Oh, it's so bittersweet. It is. There's no other way to explain it. It's just bittersweet because it is like Buddy Holly. It is like Frankie Valli. Oh, it's sad because it's. Hey, how was the show overall? I can't. Like it doesn't makes me sad. Oh, wouldn't you like to know? This might be Wednesday. On Tuesday. Met Priscilla for
true. Fort Dixon, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oops. Hey, since Care Bear, since you're here.
Oh, he already knows. He was talking about it in the thing. He likes sweet shirt.
Oh, was he? Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And I really think overall, Baz Luhrmann did a good job as directing this. I thought this movie was wonderful and amazing. It's no wonder so far it's won 17 awards so far, 17 and counting, because tonight's the Golden Globes, and who knows what else could be happening there. But I really felt it again, the ending, I can't talk about too much because I did feel like the tears coming
Right.
on.
Right.
I did. I know I cried I know I had tears coming down my face when the ending happened.
Right. Exactly. I mean, heck, it choked me up, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of give half a peace sign to Colonel Parker.
Yes,
Yeah,
especially
right.
his end remark.
Well, that's the thing is, yes, then we get Colonel Parker at the end saying he didn't kill Elvis. Pretty much, Elvis was he died because he died for all of you because of the love for you. So, in other words, we're still spinning this back to I'm
Yeah,
not at fault.
Him and I are like, we beg to differ, man.
Well, I beg to differ too. I mean, I'm like, dude, you're the one that had the doctor. You're the one that kept him drugged. So don't give me you didn't kill him. Because you know what? You also put him on these 15-night tours. What?
Josh says he's wearing a poodle skirt. I'm gonna see.
Oh, well, there you go.
What color is it, Josh?
Wow.
Other than in perspective, that was my biggest grievance. I'm very curious of
I like that, bro.
thoughts of what you guys didn't like. What else did you guys not like about this movie? I mean, I didn't have many. I only had like that and one other real one that I really.
My biggest pet peeve for this was the fact that it was called Elvis, but it was pretty much Colonel Parker's story, and then the fact that he was still blaming the fans for the death of Elvis.
Yeah,
that was my biggest pet peeve, or peace sign halfway down.
I'm gonna do the wiggle with my finger, Scott. Yeah. Not this wiggle. I'm gonna do it with the other one. Do the wiggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my biggest grievance too. Was just
what
it was shot from his. It was told from his point of view. He portrayed himself as the angel, and Elvis is the devil, and that just bothered me to no end.
You know,
it bothered me.
The thing about portraying himself as an angel, the problem is that we can all see the dented halo.
I also would like to remind everyone that Lucifer was the fallen angel, and basically so was Colonel Parker.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
One, I do question who made the decision to screenwrite it and direct it from his perspective. My other grievance, though, was, and I said this in the theater, I looked at my friend and I'm like, what the fudge? And she looked at me and agreed. That is adding in modern music over legendary music at the same time. Like I said earlier at the start of the show, when we were talking about my comments from the other day on Danny's Comics and Cosmetics, is that I want to leave me in the time period, leave me where I'm at, pull me away. And I remember, like, you're listening to like Nothing But a Hound, and all of a sudden you're hearing rap all of a sudden. What? No, thank you. I get that they're trying to say that his legend lives on, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But me, I'm like, no, this is not about her. This is not about this new rapper. This is about this time period.
Right.
Not about 2022 or 2021 or 2020 or 1990s. This is about him in the 50s and 60s and 70s also his childhood. But I did not appreciate that they added in modern music over this beautiful music, especially like Mama Thornton. I was so excited, and then when they took it out, it's like,
no, I'm with you on that one, Nicole, because that did take me. I at first I'm like, what the hell? What's this?
Yeah,
I'm in the movie theater. I remember my friend and I look at each other. I'm like, I don't like this. I like this movie.
Yeah.
I don't like what they've added to this movie because it's pulling me away from being with him in that moment, in that time. And that's where I wanted to be. If I wanted to be in 2020, 2022, not 2020, sorry, 2022, listening to rap music, I can turn on my radio and do so, or whatever, Spotify or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Leave me in the 50s or 60s, whatever's being depicted at that moment, leave me there. And it just pulled me. It pulled me away. And
for one thing I will say real quick is I didn't mind the new Eminem song at the end, in the credits. I didn't mind that because now we're in the credits. We're out of this, 50s, 60s, and 70s. You're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, when I'm like, what the hell is it? Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
We had to,
we had to ruin it by bringing modern day music.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna go that far. So
like Little Mark wasn't enough, people.
Yeah.
But
they have on modern,
while we are obviously, we're all up there in age now.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in Neverland.
Neverland, you got it. All right. Well, at least we're not Sally.
I don't know what you're talking about, Scott.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I couldn't keep a straight face that day at all. All right. Luckily, I wasn't on screen because I wouldn't have been able to talk the whole show.
Sorry.
But, no, it was awesome. I loved it.
It was.
Just so you know. But
for those who don't know, who are watching the show and don't know what we're talking about, my friend Sally one time came on for Tom's Tavern, and she let me take a nap while she took over the show.
Right, and so you can see it. It's gone. It's you had to watch it live for 27 hours.
I know, and our $1 Million Quartet was also included in that, and that was such a good show.
I know.
That was so brilliant. Oh my god!
I'm kind of bummed I didn't hit record, but I wasn't gonna mess around with trying to figure out how to. I mean,
you might have to redo that one because that would be fun because Kim didn't get to do that.
Right.
Kim,
that's right. So that'd be fun. We could do that one.
Although that was very honoring though at the same time because I came right after Jerry Lewis passed.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to get the newer kids in, trying to bring that newer generation. I get it, but at the same time, it does, like we've mentioned multiple times tonight, it takes you out of that era. Now, obviously, younger kids are not going to understand that. They're going to be like, "Oh yeah, cool." We look at it from a point of view of, okay, take La Bamba, the movie La Bamba, and you have Los Lobos, Brian Setzer, all these guys from the 80s, bands from the 80s, artists from the 80s who made the music pretty much sound like it did back. Maybe made it a little bit different for 80s, but still it was close enough to the original artists.
Yeah, it was.
Original sound.
Like now I got La Bamba stuck in my head. La 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 bamba da 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 da. I can't help it. I like to dance.
No, that's fine.
No, we got the world on the LP.
It ain't nothing but a
sound.
I can start singing and dancing an Elvis song.
Lay off my blue suede shoes.
Yeah, I mean, other than that,
no, we're gonna talk about blue suede shoes. We have to save that one.
Yes,
because that will be in music. And Scott and I talked about blue suede shoes previously also, so he knows how I feel. Carl Perkins. Oh, sorry.
So, since we're nearing the 3-hour mark.
Yes.
Congratulations. Do I get an award?
Overall rating.
I liked it. I liked the movie.
That's not a rating.
Okay, so I'd give it being from the okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Okay, Austin Butler. What would you rate him?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
because he did a fantastic job portraying Elvis.
Phenomenal.
Nicole.
Okay, so out of sashes, out of 10 sashes, I would give this an 8.
Okay.
Because same reason as Kim, I didn't like where they brought the perspective from. I thought that was very disrespectful. Also the music, the modern music, the original music, great, phenomenal. But the modern music that was added over it during the movie, didn't like that. And I don't mean just as background music, okay? I'm just saying, just in general. However, Austin Butler, he gets a 10 out of 10 sashes because he's chef's kiss.
Yes.
We love him.
Since we know Elvis did a lot of gold records, I will actually go 8.5 out of 10 gold records.
There we go. I like how we're doing.
Again, the main reasoning is one, the modern music over the top, and then it still comes back to the title for me, because the title is very misleading, especially if you've not seen the trailer. The title makes you think this is all about Elvis Presley, not from Colonel Parker's point of view.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a great movie. Austin, I mean, good. I mean, like I said, not only he continued playing Elvis for a long time, but they better sign him up to play John Travolta in a biography of John Travolta.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I hadn't thought about that.
And this kid, I mean,
phenomenal.
He is. I mean, I call him. He's a young man. He is a young adult. You know, he has got a career ahead of him.
He does.
And I know because there's a lot of those. Sometimes the Academy Awards, you have it's like the one hit wonder. Sometimes, you get one big hit and then they.
Yeah.
I hope this does not happen. I hope whoever his agent is very good at getting him good parts that are designed for him, because this was designed for him.
It was.
This part was made for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll even give, again, I don't know or seen a lot of stuff with Colonel Tom Parker where he was talking. So I don't know, but damn, did Tom Hanks look like him?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give him that. And the other thing is, I'll give Tom another vote of confidence in the fact that he did this right after him and his wife got over having COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that.
This movie actually had part of it had to be postponed because they had COVID.
Yeah.
And they were stuck down in Australia. If I remember. Well, yeah, they were down in Australia at the time. Uh-oh.
That's what I was laughing
Random, but not so random questions. You guys ever sit on the toilet one or both legs?
Okay.
Numb?
Of where Elvis was found.
Wow. Hey, SCB, I mean, you gotta really say that and answer it on Scare After Dark. No, actually, no, because hell, I'll answer it. No, I get on that damn thing and try to get my business done and get the fuck off.
There's sometimes I'm on there too long.
I'm shocked you answered it. But since you did. Oh, Lord.
Or in God's case, it's get your together and get off.
Please get your shit together.
Come on, SCB, get it together. Anyways. Yeah, I made Kim laugh. And now we got the car starting again. Anyways, so you guys, if you haven't seen this movie,
watch it.
It's on HBO Max right now. Go check it out, especially if you have HBO Max.
I bought it. I liked it enough that I bought it. So
nice. And HBO Max got really a lot of good shows on there. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm a Niners fan. She's a Patriots fan, but we've been watching the in-season Hard Knocks on the Arizona Cardinals on there.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they had the cameras rolling this week when they fired Cliff Kingsbury and then Steve kind say he was done.
Yeah.
I hope they had the cameras rolling for that because I would definitely love to see that.
Yeah. Well,
But anyways, next week.
Sorry, I'm singing in my brain Elvis again. I can't.
That's fine.
Next week we're gonna come back with more music. Another movie with music.
Yes, we are.
Because you know what, the Goonies are good enough.
Yes, they are.
Cyndi
We're gonna
Lauper.
talk about the Goonies movie and the soundtrack,
Whoop, whoop.
which I believe we do have that on LP.
The soundtrack for Goonies?
Oh, God.
That's cool.
You're gonna make me go look now, aren't you?
No.
Hold
Good
on.
enough for you, it's you. Can I want to like close my eyes like, I find the stretchy band thing.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think what Scott's trying to say as he's looking around is to make sure you stay tuned for Used and Abused next week because Goonies it is.
It is. It's
Goonies, music,
movie all in one.
Mm-hmm. And of course, stay tuned for more Elvis Presley in the future because additional episodes have now been discussed and figured out tonight because it was already movie, music, then his real movies, now concerts, and more.
Yes.
And Kim and I are both huge like groupies / fangirls, and Sky is very lucky that we were neither one alive when Elvis was.
Yes.
Well, they got that, but
And I hate to say as much as I would love
this.
to be a June Carter and a Johnny Cash, I would have married me some Elvis. I spy a vinyl record in the back.
I do too.
Brought to you by, oh, wait. I was going to say Red 5 Network, but brought to you by Sin.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, I can't find it over there.
Okay.
I don't know. It depends where I put it too.
Yes.
I'll have to look. Anyways, so next week, the Goonies
Sorry, I'm laughing because
soundtrack.
I was.
Oh, damn. Anyways, this has been fun. It's been a great night. We want to thank everybody that joined us tonight. It's been a wild night. First of all, 3 hours. I think this is our second episode at 3 hours.
I think it is.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I'm sure the other three that will.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
And I'm sure the other three that will follow will probably be right close to 3 hours.
Yeah. It would be one of those things where, like, hey, Steve, you want to do an Elvis twofer?
Elvis has certainly not left the building.
Nope. But yeah, so next week we're going to do Goonies and the soundtrack. We're going to talk about the movie and the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And Nicole will be back for that one.
Yes.
And until next week, we hope everybody has a great week.
And a good weekend.
Be kind to everyone. And of course, I'm never ready for this part of it. So,
Oh, I'm early.
peace. Good night, everybody.
Night.
There we go.